Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order of our regular board meeting of Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. For all of those of you who can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stephen?
Go ahead, Pastor.
Make the introduction, please.
Make the introduction. Okay, as far as we're starting our first invocation as far as for our board meeting, and we have Pastor Josh Alexander from Oxbow Baptist Church. Thank you, Pastor.
Let's bow for prayer. Our Father in heaven, God, I love you today, and I thank you for Jesus, and I thank you for the shed blood of Calvary. We're thankful for salvation by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, for your goodness to us, for your blessings, and for your mercies that are new every morning. God, I pray that you please help us tonight. We're thankful for the leadership here and the people represented. I pray that you please give wisdom, give guidance, give grace. God, we need you now more than ever, and God, I pray that you please give us help tonight. Lord, I pray that you would have your will and way in the meeting. And God, that you would continue to bless this area. We're thankful that you've put us here, that you've allowed us to live in America and Michigan, and we're glad to be here in White Lake. And we're thankful for all your many blessings. It's in Jesus' name we pray and ask these things with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Supervisor Kowal.
Here.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
Clerk Noble here. Trustee Ruggles.
Here.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Voorhees.
Present.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with two added items. Item L, which will be the zoning resolution in opposition of these current zoning I can't get it out. Legislation that's going down the pipe from the board. And item M, which is the resolution to approve the sale of, or listing, of the property on Hitchcock Road.
I'll support that.
I have motion on support.
Second.
Motion, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have the, any public comment at this time? Public comment is for items that are not on the agenda. If there's an item on the agenda, this board sees it fit to allow you to have some interaction at that time. So if there's anything not on the agenda that you want to comment about. Seeing none, closing public comment. Consent agenda. List of revenue expenses, check disbursements, department reports, and appointments. Any questions or comments from the board? Looking for a motion.
Supervisor Kowal, make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Mr. Noble. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Trustee Voorhees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item 8A, approval of the minutes, regular board meeting of February 17th, 2026. Questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes from February 17th.
I have a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion and support from Mr. Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Presentations. It's my pleasure always my pleasure, and the board's pleasure, whenever we can do something for our own people. Chief, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We're here today to promote Jeff Sutton from police officer to sergeant. So Jeff, you want to come on up? Right in the middle. Perfect. Again, I always want to thank the men and women of the police department for coming and showing their support. I always talk about the police family here in White Lake, and we have a large one, and they continue to support the people that achieve success, and Jeff Sutton is here for that reason. I also, all the scary people with the hats on in the back are his DEA brethren, so don't be afraid of them. They're here to support him as well. All right, so here tonight, Jeff's family, his wife Stephanie. Just to say hi, there you go. All right, you got their son Landon. Very good. Daughters Carrington and Riley. Riley, where do you work?
Wixom PD,
Wixom PD. It runs in the family. She's an officer for Wixom PD for about a year.
3 years.
3 years. Awesome. Congratulations.
I like the response.
That was a total guess. I had no idea. I just looked at her age. She's probably born in the 2000s. What year are you born?
03.
Oh, my gosh. Also here tonight are Jeff's parents, Dennis and Mary. Here. And grandma's here, Kathy. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Officer Sutton grew up in Westland, Michigan, and graduated from John Glenn High School in '03, where he was the valedictorian. He attended Wayne State University before being hired by the Detroit Police Department in '04. He worked as a police officer in Detroit PD until 2013, during which time he attained his associates from Schoolcraft College. We were lucky enough that he applied for White Lake and was hired here in 2013. As you know, our police officers, they wear many hats. Officer Sutton, he is a field training officer, a range instructor, a Glock armorer, he's a property officer, and he previously served as the union vice president and union president. In 2014, Officer Sutton received the MAD Award for drunk driving as a top performer for OWI arrests here in White Lake. And from 2018 to 2025, Officer Sutton was assigned to the DEA Detroit Task Force Group 2, during which time he obtained extensive training in narcotic investigations, surveillance operations, and interrogation techniques. Officer Sutton's investigations, while assigned to the DEA, culminated in over 20 federal narcotic indictments and over $1 million seized as assets. I just want to go over a few of the cases that he was involved in that made him a better police officer here in White Lake. In 2021, Officer Sutton initiated an investigation on the suspected fentanyl drug trafficking operation on the west side of Detroit. Officer Sutton soon thereafter discovered that traffickers were being sourced by a Mexican cartel who were shipping the narcotics from Arizona to Detroit via checked luggage on domestic airlines. Subsequent to the investigation, 13 suspects were indicted for federal narcotic offenses. Over $500,000 in cash and assets were forfeited, and approximately 27,000 fentanyl pills were seized. In 2024, Officer Sutton initiated an investigation into a long-term DEA target responsible for distributing kilogram quantity of cocaine and fentanyl throughout the Metro Detroit area. Due to the extensive investigation work and surveillance, Officer Sutton and his fellow officers for Task Force Group 2 identified the suspect's primary residence and stash houses. In May of '25, federal search warrants were executed at these locations, which culminated in the seizure of over 20 kilograms of fentanyl and approximately $150,000 in seized assets. And this last case, it's not always in Metro Detroit, it's here in White Lake as well. Officer Sutton also investigated numerous drug crimes in the White Lake area. In 2022, White Lake PD conducted a death investigation, which was later confirmed to be the result of cocaine overdose. Officer Sutton identified the victim's primary drug dealer and later obtained a GPS tracking warrant for their vehicle. Through surveillance and monitoring of the GPS tracker, Officer Sutton and his team discovered the suspect was utilizing a storage facility to stash his narcotics. A short time later, Task Force Group 2 executed a search warrant on the storage locker and seized over 300 grams of cocaine. Officer Sutton later charged the suspect with the state of Michigan narcotic delivery charge, and he is now serving 20 years in state prison. I'm super proud of Officer Sutton. He deserves this in every way. And I appreciate your service thus far. I'm looking forward to you being a sergeant and being an excellent one. Clerk Noble.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Police Sergeant for the Township of White Lake, County of Oakland, in the state of Michigan according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations.
All right, sitting back there. All right, another great part when family gets to pin the badge on. So if we can get Carrington Riley on Landon coming up to pin the badge, that would be great. Turn sideways again, right like that, back up. Perfect. Hold on a second, hold on. All right, I present everybody, a round of applause to Sergeant Sutton.
Congrats.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. I don't suppose the rest of you are going to hang around for the rest of the meeting, right? I didn't think so. We'll give you a minute here to clear the room.
Probably rampant. How's it going?
The FBI agents are actually here for you, Sean. They want to have a talk with you.
This is a like we're gonna say it tonight, Steve. I'm just gonna say it.
If they need you, go out to your car.
We've been going back and forth with the agreement.
I wrote my jokes and then I wrote my money. Trustees.
Oh, we're working on a settlement agreement to bring to the board.
I did too.
The attorneys that are representing the township are going back and forth with the Sutton's and
Put on the stove for station, we always have a bed for you.
in the settlement agreement.
Okay, our next item that I have on our list for tonight's meeting is a letter that I have from Robert Wittenberg, who is the Oakland County Treasurer. He was unavailable to make it tonight to this meeting, as he has made it in the past. He had a family, event that took him away. So basically, he had asked that we present this to our residents out there that potentially may be facing or potentially facing, in some means, a tax foreclosure. Oakland County Treasurer's Office is in the final stretch of our foreclosure prevention efforts. The tax foreclosure deadline for the 2023 and or prior year's taxes is on March 31st, 2026. That means that these taxes aren't paid off by March 31st, or any interested party hasn't entered into a repayment schedule with the Treasurer's Office by then, the property will be foreclosed. Since December of 2025, the Treasurer's Office has conducted over 1,000 taxpayer assistance meetings to assist taxpayers with keeping their properties by working with them to get on a repayment schedule and or by identifying resources that may be beneficial to them and their situation. We're here to help and strongly encourage taxpayers to contact us before a tax foreclosure deadline if they have delinquent taxes for 23 and or prior years. Taxpayers interested in scheduling a taxpayer assistance meeting may call us at 248-858-0611. Again, 248-858-0611, or they may visit www.oakgov.com/treasurer. Thank you, Robert Wittenberg. Okay. Next item, kind of a quickie intermittent thing. It's got something to do with this big chunk of glass I got on my counter here. This is a Design Excellence Award for DLZ, Shannon, and Mike's not here tonight, right? Figures. This was given out on Saturday. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend that particular presentation. And basically, it's a 2026 Honorable Concept Award for Engineering, Ash Meadows Well House Improvement, DLZ, Michigan, White Lake Township. It's from the American Council of Engineering Companies of Michigan. This is a very, very high, sought-after and prestigious award. And I'm very proud of DLZ and our relationship, and I certainly thank you and all the staff that were involved in this to make White Lake a better community for everybody to live in. And I certainly congratulate you on this. So, to you. Thank you. Next item.
So I just want to add really quick, several of us did attend and it was a wonderful evening and they had the highest honor of the night at the end of the evening. It was great. Just want to make that clear, they got the highest honor of the night.
Yeah, I would like to thank Aaron and worked tremendous amount of hours and had a great showing from the township. And as Rick said, he was sick and would have been there. Great job with DLZ. They did an excellent job and put us in the forefront of that, receiving the award. So thank you both.
It was very fun.
A real good thing. Next item is going to be new business, second reading, Edendale rezoning requests.
Yes, sir. At your last meeting, you granted preliminary site plan approval to Edendale, and you then moved the request for rezoning, which was from Ag and R1A to PD. You moved that from first reading to second reading. So tonight, just the rezoning piece is before you for second reading, which is the last step in the rezoning process. And again, the recommendation from the Planning Commission was for approval of the rezoning.
Very good. Questions from the board? Comments?
I'll make a motion.
1 second before we do that. Any question or comment from the public on this particular item, please?
Mary Early, 5925 Pine Ridge Court. My comments actually apply as much to the site plan as the rezoning. I appreciate the work involved in decision-making and the running of this township. From this board and all other boards, commissions, committees, department heads, and the many township employees. This work has made White Lake Township a great place to live, and I generally agree with decisions made. Then there's the Edendale Crossing Project. I want to thank Trustee Voorhees and Smith for their votes to uphold the Planning Commission recommendation to deny this project as it stands. As for the rest of you, I don't know if you are concerned about a potential lawsuit against the township, or you just didn't care enough about the valid concerns of the nearby residents. Trustee Anderson, Trustee Ruggles, Treasurer Roman, Clerk Noble, Supervisor Kowal, you were wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay. Anyone else at this time? Okay. Moving on. Mr. Roman?
I'd like to make a motion to approve second reading of the rezoning for the Edendale project from AG/R1A to PD.
Move to adoption.
Move to adoption.
I have a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed?
2 opposed.
3.
I'm sorry.
3 opposed.
3 opposed. Okay. Next item, 10B, request to approve the Alton County Tri-Party Agreement for the 2026 gravel road program. There was a lot of back and forth on this. It is now just the basic gravel road program that we do every year at about this time. And we have right now $140,000 in total, of which the cost to the township would be $46,667. Questions, comments? Seeing none, seeing a.
I just
Yes.
have one quick question. Trish took the time to go ahead and explain and go through detail, so I want to compliment her for being able to do that. But it was one question that I forgot to ask her, is that based the $140,000 on, because we only spent that much last year instead of opposed to the 170,000.
We just reduced it
Reduced
because,
it down to
correct.
it.
And the thing is that this board, prior to you getting on board, has been very proactive in trying to get the gravel out on these roads, and we've maximized this, and so now our efforts are paying off a little bit. And
That we can be able to do it
we
with
can
this.
kind of throttle back a little bit. Although, if the need does arise, we always have the option to increase that at some point.
Okay, that was my question. The guy didn't ask her if all of a
No,
sudden.
the maintenance crews have always been very, very good about making, things available. Every year I have a meeting with them and with the boots on the ground guys.
Right.
Okay, not
Okay.
just the
So if all
office
of a
guys.
sudden you're saying, if
So they
we
know-
find out it's going to be another $20,000,
Correct, yeah.
we can go ahead and
Correct.
support the people in that
Correct.
area that needs that
Correct.
service. Okay, that's what I just
Every
needed to
need.
understand.
So, okay, seeing this is out there,
I just
yes.
want to comment I want to thank Trish as well. This got a little sidetracked as it was presented to the board for the special meeting. So I'm glad to see that it's brought back to gravel roads, because this is the one thing that the township board can help with our roads. We aren't in control of our roads, as you all know, the county is. This is one thing that we can do is take care of gravel, and that's really important to our residents. So I'm glad to see that this came back to just gravel and not sidetracked to something else as presented for the special meeting that didn't happen.
Agreed.
Okay, all right, we have, yes, Mr. Roman.
Yeah, so this tri-party program, you guys, for every dollar spent, White Lake Township only has to put up 33 cents, right? So I asked Deputy Pergament to go back to the commission to see if there's a process to actually get these numbers bumped up. And we were told that there's a formula that they work through. And any bump would have to be because of the formula. So I don't know the specifics of the numbers, but
You mean the bump, like you'd like more gravel?
more money. More money approved.
In the
Greater
overall
than the
program.
170,000?
Oh, in the overall program?
Exactly. Yeah, so like I said, why don't you just ask them if we can bump the total up to $300,000 just to see what they would say.
Okay.
Meaning White Lake Township would put up 100,000, the road commission would put up 100, as well as Oakland County. They said no to that because the formula didn't work, whatever that formula is. So,
Equals MC squared.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion. Approve the 2026 Regavel Road Program cost participation agreement in the amount of $46,667 from the township. You want that for the next few years, Rick, or? just for-
That'll be this is a one-year program.
Okay, so just for the 2026.
Yep, 2026. I have support, I have a motion from Mr. Roman, support from Mr. Noble, all in favor?
Roll call is financial.
Doesn't have to be. Roll call,
Supervisor Kowal?
yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Ruggles?
Yes.
Treasurer Roman?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, request to approve PSAP agreement Carbine Incorporated for Police Department Motorola phone replacements. Mr. Ivory.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Let me correct myself, Lieutenant.
I've been called worse. So the proposal you have before you is a request for funds to replace our aging 911 call handling system. We have had this system since roughly 2017. It's a system that every communication center in Oakland County uses. We're currently with Motorola. Their product is Emergency CallWorks. It is aged out. We've gone through a refresh of them already. and we did an exhaustive search with a committee of all the dispatch centers in Oakland County to try to find a new vendor. They put together and they came out and decided that Carbine was the vendor of choice, and we're able to tack onto that county contract for a discount as opposed to if we were just trying to go for this for ourselves. You have the numbers before you. It is outlined as a 5-year contract with an initial payment of 1-year payment that's higher because of installation costs, subscriptions, and whatnot. So it's an initial investment of $86,766, and then there's a year 2 through year 5 amount, ultimately going to $230,541.18. Unfortunately, without this software, we can't handle 911 calls, so we would have to find something to replace it with, and we are getting a substantial deal because it's countywide.
Right,
So we
there's
would
not a
ask
lot
for
of
it to be
options
approved.
out there.
Not a lot of options.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, questions from the board?
If we approve this tonight, when will it be installed?
So we were able to get with them. We don't want it installed in this building.
Correct.
We are set to be number 1 on the list for installation. So as soon as that building is done, we would be looking at an installation into the new building.
So like in a sense, if we were given the occupancy November 1st, November 2nd, within reason, they would be in.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to speak to
Give me a date.
installation
I was
times,
just pulling them
but
up.
something
Yeah,
around there that we would not take out. We would be in there with a 911 call center.
Yeah, and there also will be no downtime.
We would not allow there to be downtime. If there was downtime, we would still operate out of our
Okay,
PSAP now.
thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Supervisor Kowal in previous meetings spoke about the potential with the county dispatch for other agencies like Milford, Bald Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kego Harbor, that we would be able to maybe obtain, because the price keeps going up. I think last year it went up for Wolverine Lake like 43%. They contract dispatch. So would we be able to maybe go after some of that cost, bringing one of those communities in, and that third council would be able to aid to that if we did gain a contract? And if we did, we'd probably be able in the future to recover a lot of this cost.
We could handle, yes. It was, obviously, that's a much more in-depth conversation that we'd have to have. One of the nice things about this building that we've done is we've future-proofed it. So where we have 2 consoles now in dispatch, we built out the ability to put 6 different dispatch consoles in the new station. We know that we're going to have more calls coming in, which is why we put in initially 3. But down the road, if that conversation made sense, we would be able to potentially hire in, work with our local communities and offer them something. But I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking to whether that's a 100% guaranteed thing, but it's definitely a possibility.
Lieutenant, quick question. Knowing that if we move forward with this, what's going to happen to the old equipment? Is there any possibility of salvaging or giving it to not giving it, but using it at a police department that might not be as up to speed from a technology standpoint?
It is aged out.
It's completely aged out.
Well, I can find an old computer that will turn on, right?
Exactly.
The question is, will it function with the fiber lines, with the demands of new technology?
Right.
Is it possible that it could be used somewhere else? I would anticipate potentially. It hasn't been told to us that we could do that. I'm guessing when they decommission it, a lot of those parts are going to go back to the county, but it's something we could check into.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Rather than throw the baby out with the bathwater, if there's an opportunity that we can generate some revenue or even, help another police department out, we can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In the event somebody was prepared to make a motion, if I could be clear, the Carbine contract is a cooperative purchase through Oakland County. That contract is 100+ pages.
So
What we've done is negotiated what we call an adoption agreement, which essentially adopts that big contract and applies it to White Lake, so you get the benefit of that negotiated contract that gets the lower prices. So in your packet, there is a PSAP adoption agreement. And I would ask that you approve the agreement and authorize the supervisor to sign if somebody were inclined to make a motion.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to request to approve the PSAP agreement, Carbine Incorporated for Police Department Motorola phone replacement, and adopt the agreement, the adoption agreement with Supervisor Kowal having, for the amount of $230,541.18 and giving Supervisor Kowal to be the signer and representative of the township.
I have a motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. And now you're going to talk to us about our rotational vehicles.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is actually two different proposals. I know it got put as one agenda item. Did you want me to address these individually?
You address them within the same conversation. It's fine.
Yes, sir. So the first one is going to be for our marked fleet vehicle purchase. Typically, most years we acquire 3 new marked patrol vehicles. We go out to bid, excuse me. We go out to bid with a certain spec that we want, and we rotate a third of our 9 marked units every year to keep them functioning, maintenance costs down, and our resale value up. This year, we spec'd it out at 2026 Dodge Durangos with the package that you see before you. We also actually looked at some alternatives, such as Chevy Tahoe. Believe it or not, Jeep Grand Wagoneer is now making a police vehicle, little out of our price range. But we went out to multiple different vendors for all of these different types of vehicles. We landed back on Dodge Durangos. We are a Durango to Durango upfit, so we don't have to purchase new emergency equipment that goes in. So that makes that seamless. Ultimately, with the bid, Zott Dodge here, both in White Lake and Highland, came back as the lowest bidder. We have a fantastic relationship with Zott. They do all of any warranty work, maintenance. Delivery is seamless. We have, from the time that hits the lot until it's back here, can be as short as 10 minutes from the time we pick it up. And then it's just upfitting costs. So we would be requesting that we are able to go out, award Zott Dodge the purchase of the 3 2026 Dodge Durangos.
Questions or comments from the board?
Make a motion.
Make a motion,
Actually,
please.
when will these be delivered? Sorry.
We're in the ordering process now. It's once all the paperwork goes through, I would think we usually take delivery in the fall.
So once those cars that they replace are decommissioned, will those cars not be hanging out in the parking lot again this year?
So they are stripped. Paperwork is turned over to the clerk's office, and then they go up for auction. And we do our best to move them around, start them, make sure they're still maintained.
Okay, thank
But
you.
once they are decommissioned, they go up.
Mr. Ruggles.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the police department's request to purchase 3 Dodge Durangos from Zott in the amount of $132,447.
Support.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Ruggles.
Yes.
Supervisor Kowal.
Yes.
Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, your second item?
Thank you. Second item is one that doesn't come around as often, but it is a fleet purchase. It's to replace an aged-out administrative investigative car. The car that we currently have in the fleet that is used by our detective bureau is a 2017 Ford Fusion that is now costing more to operate than it's worth. I actually have a repair quote to fix everything it needs for just north of $3,000, and I believe the car is worth somewhere in the low $2,000. So it's falling apart. We do want to keep that car in the fleet, or a vehicle in the fleet. We went out, did some pricing not that long ago. When we did this, we looked at Dodge Rams. We ended up getting a Dodge Ram. It was versatile. We've used it umpteen times to go transport large items, pick up things for donations, and then it goes into our use for our DB and whatnot. So we went out again, Zot Dodge came back as, with this spec, as the lowest bidder. Few more miles on this one, but also $4,000 less, well-built car. We maintain them well, they don't get a ton of miles on them. This would ultimately, we would look at cars funneling down, and we would take the Fusion out of rotation, move the DB to a car that has a few more miles on it, and this would go into our administrative fleet. And we would ask that Zot Dodge be awarded, and we are able to purchase this.
And what's the amount on that one?
That is 20, let me make sure I'm not, 25,939.
25,939. Questions or comments from the board?
I have a question and a comment. You said 2017. I know we have updated this since. So that's the Ram, correct? Do you have any other administrative vehicles currently?
When you say 2017 is the Ram,
Oh, you said that we have a 2017 Escape, then we've updated it since then, which is the Ram.
no, so we
is-
still have the 2017 Fusion in rotation right now. We had decommissioned a different vehicle.
Okay, I'll restart my question.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm confusing here. What's the last vehicle we gave you as administrative?
That would have been that would have been a Dodge Ram.
Okay, that's what I thought, the Dodge Ram.
Yep.
We don't get a sheet. Is there any way, like we've asked before for the township vehicles, can we have like a township, like a fleet schedule or spreadsheet or something of what you have just to keep us abreast?
So we keep extensive records at the police department of every,
Can you send that to the board?
I
Can you
would-
share that with us?
Every year we send that to the office of the supervisor.
Can you send it to the board?
Every January, I send it to him.
But we don't get it. So can you send it to the board?
As long as he lets me send it to the board, I will.
Yeah, he's following his policies and procedures. He has to answer to the Supervisor Kowal, and then he has
I
to bring it back
understand,
down.
but it'd just be nice to know, like, in one sheet
If you
of
need
paper,
that document,
what you
request it
have.
from my office and you'll get it.
Well, can't just everybody have it on the board?
Sure, absolutely.
But he's actually
I
following the
understand his
policy.
policy, I get it.
Well, he's just adhering to
Everybody can
it,
have it if they request it from the
Supervisor.
It would just be nice to have all in one sheet, what we
And he
have
has it.
going on,
Absolutely.
what's ready for auction, what's coming up, that's all I'm asking for. Like, we asked for that for our township vehicles. So you have it, we can get it, okay.
At his request, he can hand it out.
So my next question for you is this vehicle will not have any other identification on it other than White Lake Township, correct?
it won't have any identification on it whatsoever.
Okay. No other stickers?
So it would only come, I mean, most vehicles come with a tag of, like, the dealership it's purchased from, but we're not putting graphics on it. We're not going to wrap it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Looking for a motion? I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the subject vehicle, which is a Dodge Ram vehicle, for $25,939 from Zot Automotive Group.
Support.
Motion support, roll call vote.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Supervisor Kowal.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson,
Yes.
and Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Supervisor.
Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Sewer Relocation Project that will be done as a requirement of the Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Project. The advantage to this project is the fact that 80% of it is going to be picked up by federal funding. So we are at that point that it is to our advantage for this to be done. And the cost to the township will be only that 20%. And I won't say only that 20% because it's still a considerable amount of money. However, we are solvent in the sewer fund and have the ability to pay for it. And this is a linchpin item for that project to be completed. And time is of the essence because of the permitting processes and things. I know Aaron was trying to get this moved along as quickly as possible because of the, unfortunately, lengthy process sometimes of which things get to be in at Eagle and things of that nature. So, Aaron, I'm just hit the highlights. I'll let you hit the low notes.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So yes, we've been working with Road Commission of Oakland County on the Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Project. Our meeting in February, they outlined about 30 or so conflicts with other utilities that would need to be relocated in and around the project area, mostly due to the fact that the road base is peat that needs to be dug out. So we can't leave the sewer in place. If we try to dig the peat out at a lower elevation than the pipe, it's just going to slide in and we'll lose the sewer. The project includes bypass pumping. We don't have an alternate pipeline in that area to service that area. So we started talking to them about funding and timeline. The project construction cost is grant eligible, would be part of the grant. It's an 80-20 match. The township would be responsible for the engineering, design, construction engineering, specifications, as-built drawings, and on-site inspection. MDOT will enter into a contract with the contractor that wins the bid. They will handle all the bidding. Road Commission of Oakland County will manage the construction of the work. But as Mr. Supervisor stated, they need to have Eagle permits in hand by June 1st, which I'm not even 100% sure that we can manage to get that without, we may ask you folks to lean on your representatives to maybe help us move the Eagle permit along if necessary. But it really, it's what needs to happen with all of these other utilities for the project to move forward. So we would need tonight to approve the engineering services agreement with Oakland County. I've provided you a cost estimate. Those are estimates, engineers' estimates only. Actual costs will be, we're typically very close with our estimates, within a few percent. So we do expect to be within a few percent of that. And then we would need to, let's see here. Engineering services. Yeah, basically that's what I need, is a declaration from the township that you are interested in moving the project forward, and then approval of the PLZ agreement.
Questions, comments?
I got a question.
Mr. Ruggles.
So, Aaron, you would be paying for the 219 and the 141?
So in the, I specified here that the 219 was what we estimated was the 20% local match for the cost of the construction. The 141 was the cost of the engineering and the design work that needs to happen. So that's two different components of the same project. The total of those two combined was 360, 168.
And that'll all be coming out of your funds?
Sewer fund.
Sewer fund. And then it'll be reflected in the rate study?
They will be reflected in the rate study. All capital funding and capital spending is going to be reflected in the rate study.
So I'm assuming that these dollars were not included in the road commission's estimate of the cost of the road project, Mr. Supervisor?
No, the quotation that the road commission gave us was not inclusive of this particular project, or this part of the project. And frankly, we were not really even made aware of this part of the project until, when?
February 26th, something like that.
So we weren't even
It's
aware
fast-moving.
that this was going to have to be relocated. But as in the past, it came before this board about 8-9 years ago, when the road commission did a reconstruction at the Pontiac Lake Dam, that section of the road. At that time, we had to move the utility, because anytime our utilities are within their right of way, it's our responsibility to relocate them. So that one, we weren't able to get any cooperative monies on, and we had to pay for the full freight. This one, we're getting 80% of it because of the larger scope of the project, and it qualifies for the grant.
I wonder, since we're getting so many large expenses at a late date, if there would be any way that we could influence the road commission to get rid of the roundabout. That would save us some money. Aren't these roundabouts like $1 million each?
No, not really
No.
that much money.
I mean, they're putting a roundabout at Fisk, and there's really seems unnecessary.
Well, they do traffic studies, and one of the things they're trying to do is make the road as safe as possible, and breaking the cadence on that road has always been a problem, as you well know yourself, because you traverse that road many, many times. I mean, on a decent day, you can do maybe 40 miles an hour, but some people, go 40 plus and gets to be too fast. So now that it's going to be paved, they're going to try to reduce the speed to a posted 35. That's the projection. And that intersection is fairly busy, and they want to make sure they can break the cadence. And they're updating multiple intersections. I think South Lyon just got a couple more they're going to be doing. I read someplace along the line. So it's just the way they're doing it. I mean, they're not putting in lights anymore if they don't have to. They're just going roundabouts. It's cheaper for them in the long run.
Okay. I mean, I just bring it up because the stretch of road's gone from 3 million to 6.2 now, so,
Well,
okay.
so if I could jump in there were two sewer conflicts on the project. One was the relocation of the main at the Fisk intersection. The other was the lowering of the main at the Kingston intersection. We don't really, from DPS perspective, it doesn't necessarily matter to me if the road project moves forward. We looked at this and we wanted to get it to you with every minute of available time for our engineering work and design work to potentially happen if you decided to move forward that way. But the fact that we were going to, the road project, as far as I understood it, was going to be on an MDOT grant. 80% of the construction of this was on an MDOT grant. It does turn out to be a good chunk of money. Like I say, there were about 30 utility conflicts. So we just wanted to make sure you had all the information in front of you that we could put together for you. But I don't really have, an opinion either way. We did, as part of the project, have to go over there and locate for the design staking. We went over there and assisted Oakland County in locating some of the assets in that intersection. And when I got over there, the Oakland County truck was sideways in the ditch, and the guy was standing there waiting for the tow truck to pull him out. So, I mean, the road is extremely dangerous. For my own use, if the road was a nice paved road with a nice roundabout, it may be, an easier way for me to get to work sometimes, or for folks over there to get in and out of the area. So, for what it's worth, it's a lot of improvement. It's very badly needed.
All right, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Mr. Anderson?
Quick question on page 4 of 5. We're talking about the $141,000, correct? But it says fee summary, that's the fee summary. Then it says the following costs are not included in this proposal: permit fees, third-party material testing, contractor standby, delays, and everything. Do you know by any chance what those might be an estimated additional cost to the $141,000?
I don't expect to have third-party material testing for sanitary sewer.
Okay.
For directional board sewer. Permit fees are handled by our office.
Okay.
There won't be Eagle permit fees for the project. If it is, it's going to be $1,200. We don't know if Eagle will approve an expedited permit review for a pressurized sewer system. Typically, they do not. There's a pretty large hydraulic analysis component to their reviews on those types of systems. In this case, we're not adding any new users or changing the design of the system in any way. We're simply moving it from one side of the road to the other, get it out of the way. So we're hoping that we can get Eagle to allow us to expedite that permit review and move that forward. If we can do that, we will pay that $1,200 to get that moved forward as quickly as possible.
So should our motion include certain items that, so we won't have to come back to the board from the standpoint of the additional over 141,000? I'm just asking from that
I'd
standpoint.
like it to come back to the board if it exceeds.
If their items are under 5,000, they don't necessarily have to come to that, back to the board. They would be in your consent agenda and you would know about them. So, but anything over that amount would come back to the board.
Okay.
Typically on these kind of large construction projects in the past, we've added a contingency. There is a 10% contingency included in the engineer's estimate. So I didn't really want to stack contingencies, and I felt like that would be misleading the board, but
That was my question, Aaron. So where do you, is that in here? Did I miss it?
it
That was my question for you is.
is
contingency.
let me see what you guys got in your package so that I know what page to tell you.
Let me just scan it again in case.
Hang on just one moment, sorry, apologize. So it's this document that's, says Charter Township, Pontiac Lake Road, Pontiac Lake Road sewer replacements preliminary cost opinion.
This one,
What page is that?
142.
142. Thank you. Up to rate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
142? I'm
Yeah, I was
sorry.
gonna say, you didn't get that.
We don't have a page
Yeah, we
140.
don't, ours aren't numbered
Yeah,
as such.
we've got page 1 through 15, 4 through 5.
Bottom right corner, you don't
Aaron,
have a
Aaron.
page.
I don't think we have it, so it's 10%. Is that,
Page 4 on your, if you're looking at an individual package, it would be
It's on page 4.
the fourth page of the sewer project package.
Aaron, wouldn't we be able to review this when the construction bids come in? We'd revisit it?
We will, the construction bidding and the awarding of the project and the construction project management is handled by MDOT through the grant.
But we'd be able to review it coming back to us, right, or no?
I don't think so.
I don't know
Okay.
We just
if I
have to
can
say
answer that right
yea or
now.
nay. I don't think so.
I think what we would need you to do is say yes or no tonight, and we're going to move forward.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell. So we
It's
have the
just a
140.
time, this is a time management issue. We will not be able to complete the project. I wanted to get this project onto the last, I believe you had a special on Monday, last week. I missed the deadline by a couple minutes, and so we couldn't walk the
It
thing
was
onto the
canceled. We didn't
agenda. And, yeah. Anyway, we have been trying to move this thing to a meeting as fast as possible, just to give us every chance to get it done on time.
Mr. Roman?
Yeah, I'd just like to voice my frustration on this entire project that we were told should cost us totally under $400,000. Now we're up over $700,000, and who knows what other surprises await us. Hey, Aaron, how is it that the road commission waits until February 17th of 2026 to meet with the Water Resource Commission? Does that make any sense? Shouldn't they have met with them years ago? And at that point, we should have been told that there's going to be major issues with sewers, in your opinion?
I don't know when when this project was conceived. And, I mean, if they've been working on it for years, yes, they should have had some engineering design awareness at that point and probably identified the scopes. That February 17th meeting, they actually let me know about the meeting the day before.
Well, thank you to the
Of course,
road commission for
I had
letting
a
us know
conflict.
4
We couldn't
years
make it.
after we wanted to do the project.
Yeah, I assumed it was being shuffled along because funding from MDOT now became available, but I don't know what that reasoning actually is. Yeah, they have given us essentially zero time, and, you know, like I say, I'm not convinced that we can actually achieve those deadlines, but if that's what the township wants us to do, then we're going to give it the college a try, and we're gonna do everything we can do to make those deadlines.
Can anyone think of any other costs that are gonna come our way that we haven't seen yet?
We have the expert,
DLZ?
we have the expert here in the audience.
DLZ?
It is an underground project, and the big, major expense is digging out that peat in the road base. I believe they've purchased some additional, or are going to be purchasing some additional right-of-way from some local landowners. So there's a lot of components to it.
I mean, the right of way that could be huge.
The right-of-way is huge.
And if that's the case, do we have to pay for 100% or?
No, we pay
Is
for
that
just a
grant
portion.
eligible?
We're not paying for the right-of-way. This design and all of our discussion with Oakland County, Road Commission and WRC was to relocate that into road right-of-way. We were very specific on that. We need to have easement over every inch of that pipe. So we met with them. Drew Sandahl with Oakland County was on that meeting, Mike Lufkin with DLZ Engineering, and myself, and two fellows from Road Commission. We have what we think is a viable plan. You know, we're essentially going to have to build it twice. We're gonna put together bypass pumping that has to handle the full flow of everything east of Fisk Road, all the way up to the north side of Kingston and Pontiac Lake and that peninsula up in there. So it's a complicated project because of all that. There's, I mean, like I say, I don't know
But
what.
that's all included in the estimate?
That is all
Yeah.
included in the estimate. That took us probably a week and a half to get some information about how to tie in the bypass pumping.
So,
So-
we're getting far in the weeds. I appreciate it, Aaron, thank you. But what happens if we just don't go forward with it?
Then the road project doesn't move forward.
Right, I understand, but I mean, we could just not agree and see what the road commission does.
The road project will
Road
die.
project will not move forward.
Just from this amount here?
I mean, they've put years into it. Maybe they'll come up with a plan B.
Yeah, their next plan will be to bump the cost up more.
Maybe, I mean, maybe, I'm just talking out loud, what happens if we
You're
don't?
asking me what the cost is of what I don't know. The answer is, I don't know.
Are you sure they wouldn't find a way to fund that if we didn't fund it?
Right. What happens if?
I'm going to tell you that there has been enough conversation and enough has gone on back and forth with them that this is a participation factor. If they chose to do the road out of the blue, let's just say it all went away today, okay? In 2 years from now, they came in and they decided to do it. If they didn't have the full grant capacity that they have right now, then we would be responsible to move this at our expense, period, for the whole nut. So you can gamble on spending $1 million plus, or you spend the $360,000 and it's done. And that way the project can continue and will be finished off, and Pontiac Lake Road will now become a thing of the past.
Trustee Ruggles, can you convince me that the project is worth moving forward with? Because you use it, I don't use that road. And I voted no originally. Convince me that it's worth now. We're up over 700 grand. What do you think?
As someone that
I'm not
drives it,
sure.
Mike, I think it's worth it. I drive it.
Yeah. How long is the stretch, you guys?
Quarter of a mile.
No, it's over a mile.
Is it a mile?
What is it? Is it a full mile?
Over a mile.
Chief Keller, how far is that? You drove it a lot.
It can't be a mile.
Just to get my 2 cents, paving this will not only alleviate the dangers of that road that are already there every winter. You can see the pictures on Facebook that are showing the potholes that swallow small SUVs from that road. It'll also alleviate traffic from M59, which is always a problem because people who don't want to take that dirt road will go down the Line. And when that is paved, they will take Pontiac Lake Road to Line and then up. So this is a multi, it has a positive effect throughout the northern section of White Lake. And it's positive. And going for that, and that road, the reason why they'll put the roundabout in, because that'll reduce the speed of the people driving on that road because they will have to slow down that area. It's gonna be up to the road commissioner if they put a three-way stop in there, a roundabout, a light, or just a stop sign on Fisk. And if you've ever been to Cooley and Carroll Lake Road before they put a roundabout in there, that was a dangerous road. Just because of the speed of the people that travel that road, which is similar to the speed up on Pontiac Lake Road. So there's so many factors that go into this that we need to do this because there's so many positives that come out of it. It'll be super beneficial for the citizens of White Lake.
Is that posted right now, and what's the speed limit?
It's not, that's what I was gonna say. The one benefit is it will provide a speed limit.
So it's 55 miles per hour.
And that will remain unless it's changed, right?
Non-residential.
Right.
No. Paved is different than dirt.
It will come down. The speed
Yes.
limit will come
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. I'm assuming they would do a traffic study on it, on that road. But I can assure you that it will not be 55 or 50 miles per hour.
Well, because I'm just comparing it, when Cooley Lake Road was dirt, it was 55, and they paved it, and it's still 55. So,
Down in that southern section?
yeah,
Yeah, they may have done a traffic study down here that had that as that miles per hour. I'm surprised it's 55. It may be 50
55,
down there, because usually side roads like that or county roads like that aren't 55
because
miles
it's
per hour.
dirt, Cooley and Duck Lake.
Speed
right
is
there.
definitely a big problem on this stretch of the road. I get a lot of residents talking about it. So that is one benefit. If you'd like a benefit, Mr. Roman, that's one is, I know the speed will come down.
I've tried.
Yeah, it'll just alleviate a lot of,
This is
telling you
just
that
sewer.
We're still gonna pay for 20%
of the road construction.
It's beneficial.
I agree with all the comments about the benefits to the road. I'm a proponent to pave it, but all of a sudden it went from 3 million to over 6, and it's 1 mile. And originally I assumed that they would pave all the way down to Fisk, because that would be the only dirt that's left, but they're gonna leave that dirt, so it's, I guess that's the way it is. Yeah, but they're not gonna.
Any other questions?
Oh, this is good, Randy.
Thanks for your input, chief.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks.
Good input.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a request to approve the Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Project sewer and relocation
I'll support that.
An amount of?
in the amount of $360,168 total, and that would be coming from sewer fund, not the general township fund.
We have a motion, we have support.
Can we add that if it exceeds, past like the $5,000 spending limit, the supervisor comes back to the board?
That would be automatic.
Okay,
I
I just want to
would
make
not-
sure that it comes back to the board if it gets.
Yeah, it would be
out of hand.
automatic.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. I'd like to make a I'd like to approve the Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Project sewer relocation in the amount of $360,168 total, coming from the sewer fund, not the general township, and not to exceed that amount. If so, it'd have to come back to the board.
So what I would need from you.
Aaron, let's get through this. We have motion, we have support.
Can,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just want clarity on the motion. You're saying it cannot exceed that amount at all, even with the difference that the supervisor can approve?
No, walk that back, with the difference that the supervisor can approve. Sorry.
Within the
Say it
supervisor's
that way the
approval.
first time.
That's why I wanted clarity, because I didn't think,
That's what I meant to say.
Did you get that, Hannah?
It's very important just for clarity.
well,
that
let's,
MDOT
let's just make sure everyone understands the authority. So I believe, and I don't recall the exact amounts, that you recently amended your administrative policies, the supervisor can approve up to 5, but with the signature of 3, it can be 10. So just to make sure that everyone understands that it would be 10,000 without having to come back to the board. And so if that's where everyone is comfortable, then all you need to do is approve the contract without reference to that maximum, because it would have to come back beyond that 10.
But that is not what is going to meet the requirements of the MDOT grant, is what I was trying to say, is that we need to make sure we remember that MDOT will be bidding out the project, and MDOT will be managing the construction project. So I am not going to be involved in change orders. I'm not going to be involved in additional costs that may come up because they found something underground that required a change order of some kind. What is in your memo tonight here is that we needed you to approve the 20% local match, which is estimated to be $219,168. I don't have the ability to say, stop the MDOT project. The township board wants to talk about this because it's $5,001. We can't add those kind of contingencies or those kind of requirements onto this project. We would be accepting the project and accepting that MDOT's going to manage the project and they're going to bid it out. We're basically dealing with construction estimates at this
Can you
point.
help us articulate, Lisa, because from the board, from some of us, this perspective, that is pretty open-end for expenditures and potentially getting high quickly without us knowing. So how can we at least know? We might not be able to control it, but can we at least know it, that it's happening?
I'm sure that as soon as Mr. Potter is aware of any cost overruns, he would bring it to the board. But as he's indicating, he wouldn't be able to stop the project. Once you give it the go-ahead, it's going ahead.
I'm assuming that they put
there's
those
no-
kind
that
of
we can't
stipulations in
have
here
it at
just to
any-
prevent
The number's
those kind
based
of
on an
bog
estimate,
I
and it's
know,
not through
But
DL.
it's just an estimate.
Can I call on
That's-
Shannon from DLZ, please? Can we come up to the podium, please?
Good evening. I'm hoping I might be able to provide a little bit of clarification. During the design phase, or I'll take a step back. The Federal Aid Committee identifies potential projects on a 5-year transportation improvement plan. 5 years ago, they identified that they were going to be doing this project. The Road Commission for Oakland County got it approved through the Federal Aid Committee. It warranted enough points to score funding through MDOT funding. With that, MDOT covers 80% of the cost of construction, and 20% goes to the local. That is usually split somehow between the Road Commission and the local municipality. Anything that is considered non-participatory, i.e. relocation of any utilities, is borne by that utility. In this case, you're responsible for the sewer relocation, DTE is responsible for electrical line relocation, consumers will do the gas line, and every single fiber company out there will have to relocate all of their mains as well at their own cost. If you terminate the project tonight by not choosing to move forward with adjusting your sanitary sewer, you could leave the sewer in place, but you're going to be reducing the amount of cover on it, which means when we get a freeze like we had this year, that sewer main is going to break. You're not going to be able to have the sewage flow through it. It will lead to what we call a sanitary sewer overflow, where when that pipe breaks and that sewage leaks into the ground, you have to notify Eagle, the newspaper, the radio stations, all within a 4-hour window. And then you have to track exactly how much sewage got into the ground at that time. So leaving it in place where it is with the reduced amount of cover is a huge risk to take, and I would not recommend it. With respect to the amount that you're being asked to approve tonight, you need to approve at least the design cost to relocate that sanitary sewer, because, and you're getting a huge savings because they've already done they've already done the survey work as part of the project. So 80% of that is already getting covered and you don't have to fund it. So our design piece will be utilizing survey that was already completed as part of the road. So that's a huge savings for you already. When the project is done, and all of the permits are in hand, all of the easements are in hand, all of the right-of-way is in hand, that is the time at which the road commission can bid. They have to bid no later, or they have to accept all of their bids, I believe no later than August, in order to reach the funding mechanism for this fiscal year. That's why there's such a big push. If we don't have permits in hand by July 1 or June 1st, then they can't bid it. They can't advertise it in June, they can't accept bids in July, they can't award in August. And then you lose the funding. And you have to go back into the pool to try and see if you will qualify for that funding again in the future. And there's a ton of projects vying for a very limited amount of money. So when the bids come in, once MDOT bids, MDOT's going to bid that based on the engineer's estimate at the time that all of the design plans are done. If the bids come in excess of 10% of the engineer's estimate, then there is an opportunity for the road commission to have discussion about whether or not they want to move forward with the project, or if they want to do some engineering adjustments to the design to try and save money and move forward with the project. At that point, if you are staying connected with the road commission, you should be aware of what that change is and be able to have a say and have an understanding on what that additional cost might be for you. Right now, you're approving our design contract, our construction engineering contract, which is based on an estimate to provide the inspection services that the road commission does not during construction. You won't need third-party testing because that is part of the road commission's contract. And so it's not an additional cost for the sanitary piece because it's already being done as part of the road. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, thank you. We needed that information.
It confuses me more,
So my question then,
to be honest
with
with you.
Shannon's, Lisa, so can we put into the motion then at that time where road commission pauses if the project is over 10% and they reevaluate, they want to know from us, do we want to go forward or not? Can we put in the motion then that information is at least come to the board? Can we be notified at that point?
Yes, but
Because if
I just want
I'm
to,
sorry, but notifying the supervisor is not the same thing as notifying the board.
but what you just said was when the road commission comes and asks the township, I didn't
They may
hear
not.
that was an option.
You need to stay involved and you need to make sure that you're aware of when those bids come in and that
So
you ask.
maybe what you need to do is ensure that somebody here has a seat at the table with the road commission. So,
But I need that information to come to the board.
and so all you're asking for at that point is to be kept informed on,
Can we put that part into the motion, that if that happens, because it might not happen, correct? If it does, then that can come to the board.
yes,
Okay.
Apprised of any and all changes.
Shannon, question,
yeah.
how much money are we spending on your services before MDOT gets their bids for the road construction?
60,000.
60,000.
They've already they've already collected all the survey data. So we're going to get those plans from them. We're going to get their road plans. And then we're going to design the sanitary sewer that goes underneath it based on information that they're providing to us. We are not sending a survey crew
Do
out.
you wait till the bids come in until you start the engineering
Yes.
services for the sewers?
For construction engineering, yes. We would not begin doing any inspection related to the construction engineering until such time as the contract is awarded and construction
Okay,
begins.
so what was the 64?
The 60 is to design the relocation of the sewer, the bypass pumping system, and to apply for the permit through Eagle.
Why can't you just wait until the bids come in to do that as well?
Because they won't bid it unless the design is there. You have to have the project 100% designed. You have to have all the easements, all right-of-way, all permits achieved before MDOT will allow them to bid the job.
Okay, so in your professional opinion, and I'm asking you to give me a guess, what's this road gonna cost us for everything? Construction, sewer, some of your the other items that are not included.
So the items that are not included were not included for a reason. They were not included because they're already included in the design and construction costs of building the road under the Road Commission's project. So you're only responsible for 20% or less of that piece.
Okay, so what do you think the total's can you guesstimate a total?
I believe your numbers are already in your packet.
Are you asking what the impact is going to be on us for the total, or the actual?
No, just
Yeah.
on the township.
So that's why I'm saying phrase the question that way.
Sorry,
So-
Steve, thanks for helping. Just for the township.
Just for the
Yeah,
township. That's
like,
what-
we're at, what is
So
it,
I
three?
think those are the numbers that Aaron put together for you. 141,000 total would be the 60,000 design and the 81,000 for construction engineering, inspection, and as-built review. That's the piece that you would be responsible for regardless, right? And then what you have is your percentage share on the construction cost of the project, which I have not seen an agreement between the township and the road commission. Typically, that comes once the project's been bid and they're ready to award construction. MDOT will enter into an agreement with the road commission. The road commission will typically enter into an agreement with the township board for your proportionate share. Typically, that language says, the bids came in at this is how much you owe for the project, and if we run into something that we don't know about, you're authorizing us to go ahead and do that work anyways. And then we'll come back with you and we'll let you know how much more that is. It's not typically a lot. They do a very good job of getting their cost estimates in and staying within their budgets. So the risk is not super high, but, I don't know this area or this project as well. We just found out about it when we were brought in February. So we've been doing a mad dash to try and get you numbers to get this design done, because we just don't want you to lose the funding to be able to get the road done. If you don't follow through on it now, then you go back into the general pool, and you have to be scored against every other project that came in, and you won't be able to be funded for at least 5 years. And costs then are going to go up. We have never seen the costs go down on a road project.
Okay,
To us?
so we had,
He was trying to get the total amount.
yeah,
So it was
I think what's-
the 141 to DLZ, and then
It's like 360.
Yeah, 361.
$360,168.
Like,
See,
it's like 360 is the total.
360, 168. Mike.
So, no one knows. I guess that's the answer. No one knows what this thing's gonna cost us in the end.
Right now, the numbers that you have in front of you are an estimate. And the percentage cost that you're supposed to be responsible for is the difference between the 361, 168, or whatever that number is, and the 141 that is in our proposal.
That's for sewer. That's for sewer.
Yes, that's for the sewer
Construction,
cost.
I think our other portion, Rick, what, did we say 350?
350.
For the construction?
Yes.
Okay, so,
So you take the 350. and the
350 plus 360.
60 plus the 141.
no. 141 is
No,
included.
141 is included in the
And the
360.
360.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I'm a little confused now.
can you scratch that motion in its entirety? We're going to start that all over again.
If I may,
Yes.
Aaron, is the road commission asking you to approve an agreement right now?
No, the road commission was asking the township board to declare their interest in moving forward with 20% local match. They will start the negotiation with the township attorney. That would be the next step, was to enter into an agreement which would be drafted by MDOT, Road Commission, and White Lake Township's attorney.
Yeah. So right now, you're not being asked to enter into the road commission's agreement just yet. So you will have another bite at this apple. But I wouldn't recommend that you delay the design of the sanitary sewer. If there's any chance that you plan on moving this project forward, you need to get that design done now. We have 3 months to design it and get it permitted. and permits usually take 90 days. So we are already behind the 8 ball in trying to get this thing approved. Our first step, if you approve this, is going to be to make a phone call to Eagle and say, here's our situation, can you help us? And see if they'll do some intermittent kind of parallel reviews with us while we're in design. Typically, you don't send it to them until it's 100% done. But we've got to find ways to expedite this so that the project doesn't fall away. But you will get another bite at the apple because you're going to have an agreement that has to be made between the township and the road commission. And at that point, the road commission will have to identify what your total cost is for their road project. Or
Guys,
at
there's
least
a
give you a
lot of
window.
this project that I don't like about these numbers, but as far as what's in the best interest of the township, it's probably wise to move forward.
Yep.
But man, oh man, it's kind of scary.
Scary. I keep saying scary down here.
I'll give you an example. We had an improvement project that was done on Grass Lake Road a few years back from Ormond east through that area where fire trucks, police cars, propane tankers, and all of the above, including 2 tow trucks one time, were stuck because the road went into that double dip right there. I don't know if you remember, you know where I'm talking about. The initial estimates on that area, because it was really boggy, were low. They came in higher. But even at the end of the day, there was no additional cost to the township. So if they follow suit, I would hope that that would be the same suit that would follow.
Yeah, Rick, when we were given our estimate for construction, that was years ago. What's happened since then?
No, these are relatively new.
You're talking the sewer fees. I'm talking for construction.
No, those are relatively new.
Okay, so if you're confident, great.
Yeah, those are relatively new numbers. Those numbers were probably put together in the last 120 days.
Okay, but we were given, remember when we were told this thing would cost us under 400 grand? That's years ago.
Like maybe 2
But
years.
they do projections, as she will concur with me. They do cost projections out on increases on material. And it's the best that I think we're going to see that we're going to be able to get to benefit the township. It's pretty bad when I'm out there driving around and I have to call dispatch and tell dispatch, do not by any means send any emergency vehicles down Pontiac Lake Road
Yep.
because it was completely impassable because Lakeside was in the middle of the road pulling a car out of the middle of the road that was buried to its frame. And if we send a fire truck or police car down there, somebody's gonna get hurt and somebody can end up having serious repercussions from us not being able to get to them on time. Your point that you made, Mike, what's in the best interest of the township? And in this particular case, this has truly been a thorn in the side of anyone that's traversed those roads, and particularly our Department of Public Services and our emergency responders.
Yeah.
So the 360, 168 will get us to a threshold that we will have better information and better understanding of what the scope of the project is going to be. And the engineer's estimates are have been fairly accurate, okay? I mean, when they guessed, we did Elizabeth Lake Road on our own with DLZ, and when Oakland County kind of reviewed everything, it was within on 3.1, they were within less than $100,000 difference. So that was a pretty good guesstimate. And that took a while because, you know, that process we had to go through Washington. And those numbers worked out. So I'm fairly confident that the road commission will give us its best shot. And if there's any extenuating circumstances, you take a chance anytime you step out the door. I mean, you know, so to me, we need to try to remedy this at this point in time. It would be very unfortunate if this did not happen and we lost funding and who knows if we would ever get it again. It would probably be at least 5 years or so before it would cycle back around, because then the county might not think that we have the serious attitude to do the project.
I have one quick question for Aaron, just for my peace of mind. Was this ready to come to the board last month?
No, we didn't even start talking with the road commission until late February.
February, but there was no way to get this to us any sooner?
Like I said, I didn't even become aware of the conflict until February 26th, I believe. So, I mean, we tried to get it to the board last week. And like I said, we missed the deadline to walk it on to the meeting.
It's unfortunate that we didn't meet last week. We had a quorum. We should have met because we had business to conduct, and it wouldn't have put, DLZ at least would have had one more week to
Well,
work with Eagle.
Again,
So-
we missed the deadline because we were still gathering information, and it required an 18-hour deadline to walk it onto your meeting agenda last week. And then, we only had the one opportunity. So
Yeah, it
I
did
moved
take
to
us
you
a little-
as fast as we possibly could.
We did have to look at the information from the road commission on where they sat with the road and get an idea of how that was going to impact your sanitary sewer so that we could prepare our proposal letter, so.
So I hope you have a good relationship with Eagle. 'Cause
We
I
do.
mean, okay, because this is putting you on
Okay,
the
call
spot.
the question, please.
So I'd like to amend my
I'm
motion.
in the middle of a conversation, so
I-
it's rude.
Should I?
Go ahead.
I'd like to amend the motion to request to approve Pontiac Lake Road Improvement Project sewer relocation to DLZ in the amount of further design cost contract in the amount of $141,000 with the supervisor representing the township as a signee.
Can you include something in that motion that if it,
Not,
This is just for the
this is
design.
just for the
This is for the
design.
design.
Just the DLZ design.
Design.
I'll support that motion.
that won't go, excuse me, I'm still speaking. So that won't go to
No, just,
road commission all for that pause that I was talking about.
This is just to
Design.
approve DLZ for the design.
Yeah, if you read it, it'll tell you right there, the 141 is for DLZ. Okay?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the project, well,
I
it
got it, I
obviously
got
has
it.
to do with the project.
You're both talking to me at the same time, but I get it. Okay.
We have motion or support. Roll call vote.
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Anderson,
Yes.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Supervisor Colwell.
Yes. Motion carries.
And can I just ask, Aaron, you don't need anything further right now with regard to the actual construction because we're going to bring a contract to the board at a future date, correct?
From the road commission of Oakland County.
I just want to make sure, this is all you need right now.
I'm answering you. From the road commission of Oakland County, what they told us that we needed from you was approval of the remaining 20% local match. And you are going to enter into an agreement with road commission of Oakland County and MDOT for the project. So, as Shannon mentioned, we will have another opportunity to go there, but they did want you to declare your acknowledgement that you would be accepting the 20% local match.
So they don't.
I didn't have any documentation from them. I didn't have a resolution that they provided. There's no agreement that was provided to me at this time. But they did want the township board to.
So they'd
Agreed.
like us to do it, but it's not a requirement that we do it at this time.
I would assume what they're looking for is confirmation from this board that you are in favor of moving forward with the project and that you understand that you will be responsible for a 20% match and that there will be a contract coming forward. They don't want to invest in all of that and continue doing work moving forward if you're not going to move forward with the project. So they want a commitment from you that, yes, you're aware that you have your 20% match and you are still considering moving forward with the project.
So the idea of just providing the intent of the design fees is not enough, if way I understand.
I can't speak for them.
Well, how-
I mean, that's.
how would
I've
you
given
interpret that,
all of
Shannon?
the-
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm just trying to be able to figure out, I don't want to come back and have to have a special board meeting after we've approved the design.
You will, because the
I-
county wants a commitment. They
Right.
want the commitment on the 20%
Right.
of the necessary change, period.
But it
That's
sounds like everyone's on board with that anyway. So
Right.
maybe a motion declaring your intent to move forward with the project, understanding that you have a 20% commitment,
Right, that's it.
and you're awaiting a contract to finalize the details.
That seems very accurately,
I hope she wrote it down.
You'll never see that out
I'll
again.
make that motion, Lisa.
He did.
Hold on, yeah, I made Lisa's. Are you sure?
Yeah, what she said, is that the motion?
Yeah, yeah.
It
Okay.
would have been nice if they would have had the contract ready, or at least partial,
I think
framework to it
they're
that we could look at, but.
Kind of
we're
circling
not
around
there
the
yet.
wagon.
We have a motion on the
The
floor. so we
motion is
just need a
from
second.
Mr. Ruggles, okay, support
Support.
from Mr. Anderson, roll call vote.
Supervisor Kola.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles.
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Treasurer Roman.
Yep.
Motion carries, thank you very much, and thank you
Thank you, Sharon.
for putting up with us. Okay.
No, you're
You
fine.
can leave now.
Resolution 26008, approving the West Nile virus expense reimbursement request. Any questions or comments from the board?
I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 26-008, approving the West Nile virus expense reimbursement request.
I have motion, I will support that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Next item, water late fee discussion. I really don't even know why there would be any discussion on this because we have a policy that's set in place. Mr. Roman made a very astute point this morning. He says, I get people to come in to the counter to pay their taxes and they're late, and they want us to waive the late tax, late fee on it. Your bills are due on a certain date. If you look at the packet, there is almost an habitual pattern here of being late. I make a motion to deny.
I'll second it.
I have motion second, all in favor?
I have a comment. So I emailed Mr. Potter and Deputy Pergament basically the exact same thing, that I wasn't sure why this resident, the response wasn't back per our ordinance and policy. But they wanted this to come to the board anyway. So is there anything else you wanted to add, Aaron? Because I kind of had the same feeling. I'm not sure why this is coming to the board.
No, my response to you in our email was that we've already passed that bridge with this customer and that she requested and drafted her letter directly to the board. So I don't have the right to speak for you as the board. So once she said that she's done talking to us and she wants to come to the board, here we are.
Okay. We have motion, we have support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, denial.
What were we,
I made a motion to deny.
deny?
There was a fee waiver request on the
Fee
agenda.
waiver.
Of $25.
Well, Clerk supported me, unanimous aye.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. Next item, discussion regarding Township Zoning Ordinance Section 6.8, Site Plan Review and Approval.
I'll go. Yeah, so, I was surprised to realize, I've been here for what, almost 14 years. And I just found out very recently that, final site plan, the decision on the final site plan lies with the Planning Commission, not the Township Board. And I find that backwards. Planning Commission is an appointed committee, has no accountability whatsoever to the community, yet they've got 100% control over final site plan approval. Granted, some of us have to appoint them, some of us have to work with the planning members. And I know you don't want to offend anybody, but sorry, remember, we're supposed to look at what's in the best interest of the township as a whole. And I think from my perspective, it's the township board. We're the ones that are accountable to our residents, this board should have final say on site plan. Just a heads up too, I don't know if you guys are all aware of the new House Bill 5530.
That's part of our resolution tonight, Mike.
Yeah, oh, it is, okay. Anyway, I hope everyone's up to speed on that, because the state wants to take over our zoning rules and allow much smaller lots to be used, specifically 1,500 square foot lots. That's what, Rich, 30 by 50? 30 by 50 lots.
Smaller than this room.
Is what the, and I believe they've got good support for it. So it's most likely gonna pass. And if it does, part of that is gonna allow much smaller homes. Rick, what did you say?
Up to
500 square foot homes? So,
2.5 car garage.
that's what we're looking at, and that being said, does the board want control over final site plan approval? That's all I had, thanks, Rick.
Mr. O'Neill?
Do we not trust our appointed board commissioners to do the right thing?
Is that a question or?
Yeah, it's a question to my board members, because that's how I feel. I don't, we appoint them because we approve their recommendations. They're outsiders, so we're outsiders too, but I'm okay with leaving it the way it is. We've been doing that way for 400 years. I don't know if it's some of our new development that we've had.
Well,
Did
that's
it
not,
necessarily go the way it was supposed to?
I don't think
But I
that's
think
true.
we should leave it the way it is. I'll be voting no.
Steve, when you've been on the planning, you have institutional knowledge. How long, was that like that when you started years ago?
No, it wasn't like that when I first, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but I was on the planning commissioner for 19 years, and I was one of the, you guys can throw darts at me or whatever else, so I was there at that time and ended up talking with Shauna and talking with Mike, your brother, from the standpoint of saying, hey, the planning commission understands more about developments and everything else than the board does, because we deal with it all the time. So I say that, and the only reason why I say a little bit different is because when I was on the planning commission at that time, we had a different mix of the planning. We had attorneys on there. We could go ahead and talk about any type of issues, legal issues or ramification as far as the development. We had developers on the planning commission, and now that is not the case. So that is why I'm looking at it a little bit differently, because the mix of the planning commission is different from what it was when I was on it.
We're a township of diversity, staff,
We're not talking about-
profiles. I'm almost offended working for a nonprofit. That makes me not qualified to be this even position. Because I'm not a professional in the planning commission world.
No, I'm talking about from the idea of vetting people on the
They're
planning
more
commission.
qualified for the planning commission, right? I'm not, that's how I'm taking it, Steve, like this, because they aren't qualified, because they're people of the community that they don't know what they're doing. That's how I'm taking it.
You took that from what I just said?
Yep.
No, what I made the statement is that the planning commissioner, when I was on
Yes,
it,
yeah.
is different from today.
Correct.
I did not say anything about their not being qualified. That was a statement of saying the people that were on there is different. So,
Different knowledge.
right. So I didn't say anything about qualified.
I
or
agree, but that's how
qualification.
I'm reading it, from an outsider's
Okay,
perspective.
that's not what I said.
So are you finished? I don't want to take your time, right?
No, I'm fine. I'll probably come back and say something else, but I appreciate you respecting that.
I have a different viewpoint completely. I don't think it should be personal at all if we disagree. It is our job as the board to do what's best for the township. If we vote to not uphold at any point in time a committee or recommending body to this board, that shouldn't be personal to any member of that board or this board. If I vote against Trustee Ruggles, it's certainly not personal. We remain friends afterward. That's our professional duty to do what we are elected to do, which is what's best for the township, and that's what this board's elected to do. So I don't think that we should even go venture down that path, that it's personal or someone should be offended, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to represent the residents to the best of our ability. And we are elected. I do agree with Treasurer Roman that we are elected. The buck should stop with us. That's my 2 cents about it.
You think it should change then?
I think we should discuss having it change.
Mr. Ruggles, you see it from a different perspective?
Well, I've been on the planning commission for quite a few years, and, I respect everybody that I work with. We've gone through some changes recently. We went from 9 people to 7. We've lost a couple people, a couple new faces, but I think they'll get up to speed. I think it's fine the way it is.
I frankly sat on the planning commission for a number of years, and it is a mix of people. And in every community, you have to have that public input, because the public input oftentimes is where it touches people's lives. It touches the neighbors and that may or may not be affected by something. This board obviously can, take steps and present its opinion on it, on any specific item. But, we've only had what I will call a minor speed bump in the last 20 years. This has been in effect, and I see no reason to change the process that it is. I give my full faith and support and credit in the Planning Commission and the members that are on board right now. Mr. O'Neill.
Go back. The ordinance as it currently is written, as far as the process is concerned, came about in 2007. So it's been 19 years. When the change happened, it was because we were trying to streamline the process. Previously, there was the potential for a project to have to go to 5 meetings. The township board used to approve the engineering drawings, which really was a horrific waste of time. There was one township board member who could even read them. Those are done administratively now with this change. And then the other big change was the final site plan resided at the planning commission instead of the township board, which trimmed potentially a month off the process for any applicant. And of course, we've always talked about trying to be timely, trying to be one-stop ready. It's one less agenda item for you guys, one less time the developer or an applicant has to show up with their design professionals and incur, that cost as well. And at the time, the way it was written, we've always looked at the township board has the ability to stop a project in its tracks at preliminary. Township board is the emergency brake, the emergency brake from keeping a project that people don't want to see or could be harmful or injurious to the township. And they can kill the project, any project at preliminary. Most projects, basically, when they get through preliminary, have done about 90% of all the things they need to do. They've determined at that point or achieved engineering feasibility. At that point, it's been determined that they meet zoning standards. That's all dealt with at preliminary, and it's a lot of window dressing at final. Landscape plans, lighting plans, things like that get added, and kind of the final details get ironed out at that time. And so again, the board has the ability to stop a project. There was never a thought that they needed to be an accelerator to step on the gas. They're the brake in the process, not the gas pedal. And so, the supervisor just made a comment that we've had one bump along the way, and I can't remember in the last 19 years a second. We've had hundreds of meetings over the last 20 years and probably had 100, 150, something like that, action items, whether it's, a project sometimes comes to the planning commission multiple times, but we're batting 99% through all these years. That is pretty good. To me, that's a problem that we don't have. Nothing needs to be fixed. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Yep. In my mind, frankly, I respect all of our planning. We're talking about respect a lot. I think we've always had great planning commissions. I've worked for other communities. I've sat on planning commissions. I would put our planning commission through all the years up against any of the ones that I've served on and any of the others that I've seen in other communities. Today, and over the last 23 years that I've been here. They've all done a phenomenal job. And to the point that Mr. Anderson made, one of the wonderful things about our planning commission is they come from different walks of life, just like all of you do. They have all different backgrounds and experiences, but somebody at the table always knows something about a project that sheds some light on it, just like the 7 of you do. And and frankly, I think this board is, from a lot of your longevity, a lot of your just desire to ask questions and learn, is probably the best township board as far as the level of understanding that I can't think of a better township board. We've had a lot of great township boards, but I think what's unique about this township board is 4 of the 7 of you either currently are or have sat on the planning commission, one for almost 20 years. So of course you guys all know a lot more probably than the average township board about the planning commission process, because the majority of you have sat on a planning commission. The majority of you have sat on the same planning commission that we have today, who have had to sit in judgment on a final site plan and have had that awesome responsibility on lots of projects through the years. So I think you were competent then, and I think they're competent to continue making the same kind of decisions at final site plan approval today. So that's all I'll say, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill.
My question, I guess, and I'm just gonna just think out loud here to Mr. Roman's point of maybe wanting to change. I'm not saying I'm for a change, I just thought discussing it is good, we should talk about it. Can we tweak the ordinance to put in a mechanism to address the speed bump? So if we disagree, like this last topic we had, can we put in a mechanism that at that point in time in the process, it would be the board's final decision? So it would be like process as normal unless we hit this kind of speed bump where we disagree at the very end. Can it then come to the board? Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to rewrite the ordinance.
I guess I'll go back and say we've had 99% of the time
This
it's
is
not.
unusual. I know, this isn't the norm.
Right.
So can we put in like a step or a mechanism? Can we think about that, brainstorm how that would work? That the board would have the ultimate say in this kind of scenario that we're all talking about?
Why is that necessary for one speed bump in 19 years?
Well, because it did leave the board in unusual circumstance. That's why we're talking about it.
I can't off the top of my head think of appropriate language to include or to modify that would maybe address that, because it's sort of like we usually try to communicate the process very clearly to every applicant, and they all get the same ride through the process. Everybody does, and there's equity in that and balance in that. And I don't know how, if we have kind of this uncertain route, I don't know how that would be received by any applicant. I mean, some of our applicants are fairly novice to the process, and so again, some of the streamlining was to keep it straightforward, so you don't have to be a super expert to get through it.
I'm just thinking out loud, like it kind of would solve both sides of it. We wouldn't be totally changing our planning commission process, but it would allow us to step in
Liz,
at
what
the
you're
end if
asking
we
for,
need to.
what you're asking for is, in a situation on final site plan where the board disagrees
Yes, I'm
with the
asking.
planning commission, you want the power to go to the board. And that's what I'm,
Saying,
Right, I mean.
that's what I'm
you're asking.
that's what I'm
that's
asking
what
you
you're
to do.
saying too.
What would
And what
be the
I
point?
just haven't spoke.
What would be the point? You
My-
might as well just take it.
Yeah.
My,
Well, we are, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it would
6
be,
to 1, half dozen
that's
to none.
right. He's saying the same thing as taking it away.
I'm just talking out loud.
No, no, I'm
Walking
just-
it through.
I know what you're trying to do.
happen.
I would like to,
I thought of the same thing, and I couldn't come up with a.
Right,
the
because
way
it's
to-
the same thing.
It's really the
Effectively.
same thing effectively, yes.
Okay.
I mean, only
If
thing
there's
I,
not a solution, there's not. I'm just on a wonder.
One
you
bump in
know.
the road shouldn't be changed.
All of us are here at once to think about it. Just think, you know.
to your point, to Treasurer Roman and Liz's, the accountability, and Mary early had a point. She said, talked about the people that, we're the final, we are accountable for it at the end if there's any litigation. So I would like to see it come back to us.
Do you want all the ZBA hearings too?
And the Board of Review.
About that.
I'm just
It's
saying.
different, and that's
Yeah, we're talking
statutorily
about
set up
two- yeah.
different.
About
It
ZBA.
is,
About
it
two
is,
things.
but I guess just, and that is a good point, the ZBA does not come back here, and I know it's statutorily, done that way, same with the Board of Review, there are other boards and commissions that don't come back here. The Planning Commission has some ability to make final decisions, but most of what they do is recommending.
Recommendation.
They have very little autonomy to do, they can't rezone property, they can't amend the zoning ordinance, and they can't approve preliminary site plan. Those are the big things that they do at a regular basis. Even the CIP comes through here, the master plan updates come back through here, so a lot of stuff gets referred to you.
Sean, I've got a question. You
Yeah.
sit on a board, and I know Canton Township does it, and you're in the Planners Association. I've always understood that planning commissions were a recommendation to the board, final recommend, like we had the final say. And I was kind of surprised by it. I was like the other three.
Yeah,
So like in Lyon Township, is that how it is? Do they have final say like how we have it here?
Lyon Township, the Planning Commission has final say.
Okay.
Commerce Township, the Planning Commission has final say. I
there
think
are-
most of our neighbors, the Planning Commission has final say.
But there are communities that are recommending body, like
That is the-
recommending back to the board.
To be honest with you, that is the old way of doing it when the process was drawn out and there were many meetings
Yeah.
and they didn't have the kind of, I guess, maybe staffing and relationships. I mean, you'll obviously have a township board member on a lot of these boards and commissions. You send a liaison, so there is that kind of connectivity. So I think the trend has been over the last couple of decades to move toward a more streamlined process. There
But
are
it
some-
doesn't make it wrong, right?
Oh, it doesn't make it wrong. You
Okay.
absolutely can make this change. I mean, I like it the way it is because I think it's a streamlined process. I think it really works well, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and I respect the ability of you guys to change really anything, any processes that any of us work under. But some of the communities, it doesn't come to the township board at all. You asked about Lyon Township, unless it's a PD, it doesn't come to, no project comes to the township board at all. The planning commission handles everything. We don't see anything.
Mary had her hand up a while ago, and I can tell she's itching to talk, so.
Older than I was when I came over. Mary Early, 5925 Pine Ridge Court. We go to a lot of the meetings. The Planning Commission is amazing. We're even there sometimes when Scott's not there. But they know a lot. They know how to ask questions. They have the expertise of the planning and building department. They use those experts. They really review the plans. And I think they know what they're doing. And whoever appoints them, if it's you or whoever, you do a good job because they're really smart people. So I don't think you should mess with it. As far as ZBA, which Lisa just brought up, Joe Spencer starts the meeting every time telling about how they're a quasi-legal authority and you can't change anything they do.
Right.
If somebody doesn't like their decision, they have to go to court. So trust your committees, your boards, your commissions. Trust your department heads. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, any other conversation?
My only last comment is just to keep in mind that I think the boards do a good job, they're a recommending board, but this board doesn't really have much of a say of who goes on those boards. The supervisor appoints them, we confirm the appointment, but we don't really have we can't unconfirm it, we don't really have a say. So I still think that this board is held accountable, whether we are actually an accountable party or not by the residents, we're still held accountable for what these boards and commissions and recommending bodies underneath us do. They act as an arm of us, so we're still the ones that are thought by the public to be accountable. So I think it's worth maybe thinking about changing.
Okay, good. Okay, next item.
No, I got a motion to make, Rick.
What's your motion?
Motion is to direct the planning commission to initiate amendments to the zoning ordinance that would change the process for site plan approval to require final site plan approval by the township board on recommendation of the planning commission.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote?
Trustee Voorhees,
No.
Supervisor Kowal,
No.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Anderson,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
No.
Clerk Noble, yes.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Discussion regarding township rental ordinance.
Sorry, Sean.
As you well know, we've had a lot of discussion on this, and I think everybody pretty much understands my thought process. I've heard everything from we can't do a good job at it, which means we need to improve. That's not a good thing to admit to your public. If you can't do a good job at something, you need to get better at it. If it needs to be streamlined and looked at, then that needs to be done. There's a certain number of violations that are out there right now that haven't been inspected. And if we eliminate this ordinance, we're just basically sweeping those problems under the rug and denying people due process of having a right and safe place to live. And I think it would be a real disservice to the public to just abandon the program. I think we should consider looking at it to streamline it so that it becomes a very finite, and I will just kind of call it the 10 commandments of safe housing, so to speak, and keep it to a very narrow window that just does basic life safety skills, period. That's the main things we're after. And those are the things that other communities around us have done and have proven to be fruitful and improved housing in communities. Waterford is a good example. And other communities around us have the same and similar type of programs. So abandoning it, I mean, the board has the right to do that, but then you're abandoning your residents. And I think that that's not fair and equitable to them. I think that at least the process of looking at it and coming up with something that could be mid-ground to work and working with the Community Development Building Department to try to streamline the process to make it simpler for everyone that's involved. I had a woman call me who has an Airbnb that is near her that she is complaining about and has a lot of issues with, and she said she looked into it and she knows that they're supposed to be getting a rental inspection, and she wanted to know when that was going to happen and if they were actually going to have a rental certificate like others have. And I told her that right now things were kind of topsy-turvy and we were trying to come to some sort of an alignment with this. So there are those complaints out there, as well as the others that have come through and come through periodically. We don't get them all the time, come through periodically. But just because something might be a little difficult doesn't mean that you abandon it. And if it takes a little more time, try to figure out a way to make it a little more streamlined. And that's my thought process on this, and I think that we're doing a major disservice to the public by totally discarding this ordinance.
Well, Mr. Supervisor, we're going to be respectfully disagreeing with you on this one. I've been opposed to it. I'm still opposed to it. I don't think that collectively we have the manpower, the motivation to see it through properly. I'd like to see it gone. I don't think we should be in people's houses. I don't like the fees. I don't like the guys that we send in there. I don't like the stuff they're looking for, and I don't like what they tell our residents. So I could keep going, but I'll stop there.
I'd like to, we had discussions earlier with Nick Spencer, building official, and I asked him, I said Novi is a pretty large community, and if they had a rental ordinance. And I did some research today, and they have over 8,500 rental units in Novi. and they don't have a rental inspection program. And as far as talking about the health, welfare, and safety, we went down this with Chief Holland about getting in commercial buildings. Well, if somebody reports that, we have the, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, the authority to get an administrative search warrant, get that, you would draft it up, bring it in, we'd swear to it, and that would be able to get us in the home, which we'd bring Nick in at that time to deem if it's unsafe at that time. I think, too, that, we just don't have the manpower, and I think it's a lot of government overreach with our citizens. That's my opinion on it.
Who would be in charge of this program? Who would be the lead, who would take the lead?
Through the building department.
It's currently in our department.
So that you would have someone that would be their main gig, right? Would be to go into like Mary Sue on a yearly basis and check them out.
No, Andrea, they don't.
Andrea, we already have this program, you know that, right?
Yes, no, I agree.
We've had it for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, the issue we currently have is we don't have this, I mean, Nick is our full-time building official,
Correct,
but he has 100 other things to do every week. And so, we are using the electrical, mechanical, plumbing inspectors who are
That's what I thought.
contract employees who are licensed by the state to do life safety inspections. Or what we, I guess, maybe feel that the program should take on more of a life safety inspection. So the challenge we have and why I think if it's going to continue, we would need to go a different direction is because those folks are code officials for the state. So when they go in and they're looking at smoke and CO2 detectors and they're looking at, fire extinguishers, just real basic things that any one of us can walk in a house and test, and they see other deficiencies, then like Scott, and I know he and I have had some conversations, you start going down a road and an electrical inspector, plumbing inspector can't go through a checklist of 5 things and then turn a blind eye to other violations they see, other issues they see, even if it's not on their checklist. I mean, that puts them in a very uncomfortable position. And again, they're licensed to the state. They're not our employees or contract employees. And so that if we keep moving this forward, that we're gonna need, I think, to go a different direction because outside of Nick, the rest of those guys don't want to do them because they're not comfortable with just doing a basic life safety evaluation on just a handful of items on a checklist and not be worried about other things that may be open and obvious to them that, could cause an issue, and then we're kind of back to where we started, so.
So it's more of a safety thing would that potentially fall on the fire department?
I'll let the fire chief address that, but.
Sure.
Yeah.
If a life safety hazard is noted, through complaint or something else, then we do have jurisdiction to go in and look at that.
Okay, thank you.
How many inspectors do we have, Chief, right now?
We have 4. We have one each on each one of the shifts in the fire marshal.
Okay. So we did divert that over to you. You guys would be able to handle that with monthly inspections back to the board. Like if we took over inspecting, like we had to have you go in and if there was an issue with a rental home and we were not using this program, you would go in and.
If there was an issue, we could direct somebody to do that. We don't have the staff to do it on an ongoing basis, but if there was an issue, we would have an obligation to devote resources over there to do the inspection.
And what I'm hearing then is it's taken away from the current inspectors that we have, tell me if I'm wrong, Sean, to get to with the new builds and the new construction, because I gotta be honest with you, I never see Nick. Nick's out in the field 5 days a week at least with very limited office time.
Yeah, his boots are dirty, and I'll let him jump in
And
on
his
this.
car
but
is dirty because
just-
he's back and forth on.
Yeah, just from a
projects
broad
all the
level,
time.
you're asking, these inspectors we have to do something that's not really their job. That's not, they can do it, but I gotta tell you, all of us could do it too. You could all go test CO2s, make sure that CO2 detectors are in there, fire extinguishers. We're talking about a basic checklist for life safety, peeling it back to just that. That's something any one of us could be trained to do, and you don't need to be licensed, and some other communities don't use certified state inspectors to do it because then you can give them a checklist, and if I go in there and I'm not a licensed inspector, then I don't know what the plumbing, mechanical, electrical code is, and so I'm not obligated to call out issues. I'm not, my license doesn't depend on that. So I think that's, to answer your question, they're more than competent, more than capable, but that's really not what they want to do. That's really not why we have them here, and they're not our employees. They can just say, listen, I want to do the permits and the inspections for construction, and, we don't have certain authority over them. They're contractors. They work for themselves, and they, serve us in a limited capacity. I don't know if I
guess I just found it amazing at Novi, who from back road all the way to West Park Drive, it's got to be a square mile full of apartments right there, and they don't have a rental inspection program, and they're gigantic.
As apples were oranges, you can't compare them.
Sean, do you
I
have
believe
the-
you can.
Do you have the money or the manpower right now to do this?
I really think it depends on which direction we want to go. I think that we would need to probably handle the administration differently as far as kind of the funding of it. I think one of the issues too, if we keep going the direction we are, there are just certain people we're going to have to start writing tickets to. We've sent a lot of letters saying, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off. Like when you warn your kid 15 times and there's no consequence, that's where we're at with a lot of people, because the next step is to write a ticket and then have them go see Lisa at district court. And that's people aren't gonna like that. We don't have the budget to start fighting legal battles with.
How much would you estimate that to be, Sean, if we went right now with that backlog?
I have no idea, because I think we would ticket everybody. We'd send
50,000?
100 tickets. I don't know how many there would be.
50?
And then depends on how kind of compliance we get. I don't know.
Because
Because
if you'd even get to that point, you write a
So-
ticket to someone, they're more likely to comply than they are to just go to court.
Oh, I'd fight it.
That's you.
to answer your question,
when Jason Hudson was here, I had a lot of conversations with him over a variety of ordinance issues, and his greatest tool was writing a ticket, and he would, vast majority of the time, get compliance. And Lisa can tell you, she can probably count on one hand the number of times she was in the court in the course of a year over tickets that Jason didn't get compliance on, correct?
Yeah, Jason was amazing.
There you go.
Yeah, but
And Joshua's
the-
doing a great
Yeah,
job
but the
as
question
well.
is how much of a backlog would we have to write tickets to? And I think that
we
would be
would-
substantial.
We would have to go back through and restart sending out warning letters again, probably. This has been sort of dormant for a few
Which
months
is man
now.
hours, which is time, which is keeping that person busy just on that from residents that have overgrown grass, boats in yards. I mean, our new guy's phenomenal, and he's, that would take him away from his job.
Yeah, based on the direction you give, the program is going to have to make some changes. It's going to have to look a little different regardless of whether you, obviously you've got a few different, you could leave it alone, you could amend it, or you could, and leave it in place to some extent, or you can get rid of it. If you do the first two, there will have to be changes because there has to just be a different approach from a staffing, a process, and a budgetary standpoint.
Yeah, I would just like to, Andrew, you said it's apple to oranges, but it really isn't because Novi is 8,500 and we're not even close to being their side. So if anybody should have a rental ordinance, it should be them, and they don't. So therefore, I think it's too much government overreach. For a fee, Royal Oak, I did a little investigating on that. They have a rental ordinance, yes, but they don't enter their house. They drive by, check the yard, check make sure the address is on there and keep on trucking and charge the person who owns a home a fee. We're feeing
That's not,
people to
that
death.
that unfortunately is a money
I
grab.
agree on
It
the
is.
government overreach, and I agree, that was my concern when we initiated this program. I thought it was too much government overreach, and I was concerned right away about staffing this and how that was gonna happen. And I remember we were in the old boardroom, and I asked Chief Holland at the time, and I was told that we were going to work through quadrants. It's my understanding in 6 years, we haven't made it through the quadrants. So that's of great concern to me. So the program is not working. We're not saving anyone's life if we're not even getting through the quadrants. It's a money grab to me. Basically, we're charging people $50 to check their smoke detector. Tenants have legal remedies if their landlord is not performing without the township's intervention, irregardless if we intervene or don't. They, as a tenant and landlord, they have their own legal remedies, both sides.
And that's a long, drawn-out process.
It is not.
It is
isn't.
true.
Okay.
Long,
that's your-
drawn-out
That's your
process.
opinion, and it is not. It's pretty straightforward, but anyways, So I'm not for the program. I wasn't when it started, and I remain.
I got one more thing to say. We have a resident here, it got brought to my attention, and Trustee Ruggles, two people that don't have the wherewithal, the means to, your inspectors went in, no fault of theirs, they see things, and they added up stuff that was way beyond what they could afford. They went in there and they said, well, you need this fixed, because it's getting it up to code. And they didn't have the means to fight that. Next thing you know, they're $4,000 or $5,000 deep trying to get stuff fixed. That was, I know that's not your intent, Nick. Wasn't your intent.
That's not my intent
But
either.
it isn't yours, but that's what happened. I had another resident that has a $300,000+ house that rents it out at $2,500. It cost him over $4,000. And I'm not faulting the inspectors for, as you said, we've got very strict professional inspectors. But you go in, okay, your vapor barrier has to be this thick. You know, just one thing after another, and he complied $4,000 later. Now, that person had the money to do it, but he was taxed. I think this board's very conservative on that, and we're putting a tax on people. That's how I view it. It's a money grab.
We're not even sending the same inspector in over and over. It's a different guy each time. And they come up with a different list. You know, the first guy says, oh, here's 10 items. The next guy goes back after he's fixed the 10. Well, this time it's Inspector B. Well, he finds 5 more things, and it's just round and round we go.
And this goes back to, we have a handful of, it's a revolving door of contract inspectors. So if inspections are due up, it's whoever's in that day. And to your point, I mean, it kind of goes back to electrical inspectors calling out certain things. A mechanical inspector might go on a different day and see other things. And I get what you're saying, but, it's putting them in a really difficult spot to use the staff that we have, the limited staff that we have, in the manner that we're continuing to use them. That has to change. It's just not, it could be used periodically. Those folks could be used periodically, but that can't be who we rely on for the reasons that I mentioned previously.
Let me ask this question. Nick and Sean, you are very familiar with our process and what's happening with it. So if we all talk about that it's broken, what would your recommendation or suggestion be?
I'll just say before Nick talks at a higher level, I'd like to know whether you want to continue with it before we go down this road of digging and tearing this whole thing apart. Either we're going to go ahead and fix it or we're not. And if we're going to go ahead and fix it, I think, and you can talk more specifically about it, we've got to change how we staff it, how we fund it and what that process looks like. And then we need clear direction when people are in violation. Are we supposed to go out and take these people all the way through the process? Are we going to write them tickets? Are we going to take them to district court? What does that look like? And so that'll need to be all funded as well. And that's at a high level, the pieces that we would need to attack.
Yeah, so to Sean's point, this really would need an overhaul as far as how we handle it. And, the inspectors I have are all great inspectors. But the issue with them is that they are state licensed code officials. They are looking, when they're going in, they're bound by code. They're not our employees. So when they go in, they're looking for code compliance. And that's a very difficult thing to do when you're going into a house that was built in the 60s. Okay, the code back then is drastically different than it is today.
So you apply the newest code to everyone's homes?
Our inspectors, that's what they feel they're supposed to do. They don't feel comfortable walking away from a house that has an egress window, okay, in a bedroom, in a sleeping room, that is, new code requires 5 square feet on the lower level, 5.7 square feet on the second level. Houses that were built in the 60s have a 55-inch windowsill and a 4 square foot opening. They have a hard time walking away from that and saying, we're good. So, from my standpoint, if this is going to continue on, I think this would have to be staffed. We'd either have to hire somebody who is
just handles this, or bring somebody in who's third party, who is not state licensed code official. You know, I know there's companies that do this as well. Probably pretty pricey to farm this out to another company. But it's, you know, this is it's a big lift.
And Nick, does this, with what you're saying, if you're the inspectors, with them not walking away and they don't do anything, does that risk them getting sanctioned on their license?
That's always their concern, is that if I turn away from this one thing and
Somebody gets hurt.
now it's turning into a subjective matter for them. You know, am I gonna get dinged one day down the road when, you know, a kid can't get out a window when there's a fire? So that's the thing that I hear from them. So I'm just telling you, just being honest with you.
And a possibility of them, they walk away, somebody gets hurt, and then they're sitting back going, well, if I would have done this, and then what you're saying is that could affect their license. So they don't want anything to do with it, is what you're saying.
It makes it more difficult to get the guys to go out.
If we hire somebody, then we're incurring township costs by hiring an employee. And if it's somebody full-time, then we have all the, you know, healthcare, legacy costs, everything like that. By hiring somebody in your department.
Yeah, but it's not it's a fee-based inspection.
Wait,
So
I know,
there is a
but
revenue stream.
Yeah, I know, but we would be hiring somebody, and you can't tell me the revenue stream's gonna be greater than paying a retirement or legacy cost, because it isn't. There's not a much, the revenue's not gonna supersede that.
You guys,
Go ahead.
this ordinance is probably the most difficult ordinance we have to administer. It's just a really hard program to do properly. First of all, we don't know which homes out there are being rented. We just don't know for sure. And it's not fair to all those that comply, knowing there's so many other homes not complying. What we're doing right now, you guys, we're only looking at houses that have no principal residence exemption, okay? What about the homes that do have principal residence exemptions? We're not going after any of those.
You don't need to, they're generally not rentals.
Wrong. I can guarantee you, many of those
Well,
are
there may be a
they're
few.
being rented out.
I would not doubt that.
Yeah, so we're not going after them. Homes without the principal residence exemptions, they may or may not have tenants. We don't know. The inspections are subjective, as everyone has already mentioned. Non-compliance that's bad. We got a lot of tickets we could be sitting on. I know we haven't sent them out. Just the whole thing it's very difficult to administer. I say scrap the entire program, but, I mean, Rick makes a good point. You made a good point when you mentioned township gets calls from people that are worried about safety, okay? And in those instances, Sean, I believe you can send someone out to go to a home and address the safety issues. And I agree with that. But as far as the program itself, a township can't do everything good. And, I mean, come on, after 7 years, we're still running with training wheels, guys.
So a couple of things really quick. This got off the ground, this was starting to come off the ground right around COVID, and everything kind of got put on hold for a while. So the calendar says this has been a long time coming, but it really hasn't. And in the meantime, it's sort of been in fits and starts. So I wanted to address that just really quickly, because there are a lot of people who have worked hard on this and just not had the ability, because they're being pulled in so many different directions, to see everything through. And I think if there's one thing that was done wrong in this, is just that we didn't come back here and say, we need more money, we need more staff. Yeah. We tried to make do with who we had, what we've had. And our department just recently has been staffed fully for the first time in probably 6 or 7 years, because of a wide variety, as you all know, of rotation. But I also want to say really quickly too, the fee that's charged is only $250, and it's every 4 years. It's fairly nominal for a rental. So I've heard the words cash grab come out, and I don't think that that's really fair, because when you look at the whole program, it does not make money. It probably loses money, and if we start writing tickets and taking people to court, it will lose thousands of dollars if we do it that way without reassessing and overhauling the whole thing. So it's definitely, it not only does it not make money, it's not allowed to make money. From the very beginning, those words have been spoken in our department for years, 100 times. We're not trying to make money. We had to actually justify and break down all of our fees, from admin fees and, check processing fees to inspection fees, everything. So
it's not a winner, it's a loser.
right, and it's not, it was never designed.
I'm not saying that. I'm not
Right.
saying to make a profit. It's
Can't.
a loser. And I'm not willing to tax the residents
I
on it.
just want to be clear before you get too far down the path. I'm not blaming your department.
No, me
I
neither.
don't think you've done anything wrong. I understand that you're not staffed properly for this program. That's why we shouldn't have the program right now. I agree with Treasurer Roman that we should scrap it. And if we can create a working program, then that can come back to the board, but at this time, it's not working. So I think we should scrap it. And if anyone here feels a need to resurrect a similar program that works, that can be brought back to the board at a later date.
And one last thing I want to say
But
is,
I don't hold your department at any fault.
No, and if it hasn't gone well and it's taken to this point before we've come back, then I accept responsibility for that.
Sherry Ward, when she was, God rest her soul, she did an amazing job. She spent hours and hundreds of hours tracking people down. I was amazed by her investigative skills of going on Lara and finding the people. I mean, she spent all that time, she did a great job, and she was having a hard time keeping up, but she was the best of the best at it.
From day one was we did not have the staff to do this, and we didn't, and that's just, it's just facts, so.
Rick, one comment. When we started this, it was about safety, health, and welfare, right? And I can go along with that. I still could. But what they're doing isn't what we envisioned.
Well, that goes back to my comment of versus scrapping the whole thing. Just go in and do the 10 commandments of home safety, health and welfare, and that's what you inspect for. That's what other communities are doing. And that's one of the examples that we probably should have followed, and we didn't necessarily go down that road in its entirety. There may have been some areas of misunderstanding for what the inspectors were looking for. But in the defense of the inspectors, I can understand from their standpoint, if they see something, they need to say something. But if we have a individual who isn't necessarily a state certified inspector that could do that type of program, I still think it would be successful. It would be beneficial to the upkeep of the community at large, and also beneficial to the people that have a problem. Is there recourse? Yes. Going as a tenant through the court system to go against your landlord is David and Goliath. It is not that simple, okay? If you have a complying landlord, Waterford, I've had apartments there for a number of years. I comply, no problem. I don't have any problems. I've actually had my certificate go to my defense when I had one tenant accuse me of being a slumlord. And they didn't have a leg to stand on because everything was in order. So it's what you want to make your community. It's how you protect it. There's different things you can do. I mean, if you want to walk away from it, I guess you can do that, but I still think you're not doing the community a justice at large. Your comment about Novi having apartments all over the place, my God, they got a couple square miles of them there. But those are run by large management companies that generally run them well. And they have people, they have staff. You go to River's Edge, you go to these other places, they have 15, 20 maintenance people. That's all they're doing is taking care of the place and making sure things are up to date. It's the 2 or 3 houses along such and such street that the guy doesn't necessarily take care of it, where, the windows are cracked, the doors won't lock. I mean, these are real life stories that have come to the office. Those aren't the kind of things that you start to complain to the landlord, get to a point, he sends you a 30-day notice to quit, and you're out.
But I agree with that, but since COVID, it's made the court, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, it takes a lot longer to evict somebody now.
It only takes now,
Over 90 days.
No, it does not.
Absolutely.
I just went through an eviction. I did it in 7 weeks. Okay? So it can be done. It's eased up. So the process does work.
Lisa, how long does it take,
I don't do that kind of work.
if you had to guess?
I mean, you have to give notice of 30 days, and then once you're in the court system, I think it's probably 30 days to get a court date.
And then
Right?
after
Is that
that,
about right?
Yes,
judges
you
are,
have your first
judges
hearing
are,
and you have your
I
second
know,
hearing.
but judges are being more sympathetic these days to tenants and extending.
That's irrelevant to
Do
this
that kind of
subject
work.
matter.
Well, no,
okay?
it's not. I think it's very relevant.
It's completely irrelevant. So my point is that you still need to provide people with safe housing. If this board wants to do away with that, so be it. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I would like to make it more of a complaint-based program to where if someone complains about safety, then we send someone out.
Yeah.
But question for our
Great.
legal counsel, can that be done? And if it can, do you need an ordinance? Or can it just be a policy to where,
Police and fire and building have their own codes that authorize them certain entry. And there's also administrative search warrants that can be obtained. So if you're looking for just enforcement, if a complaint is lodged, you already have that ability.
inspection and enforcement?
Yes.
Someone will go out, look at it, decide if it's
No,
really a
no, no,
safety
no.
issue?
No, it would be a complaint for a reason, and then you would have to explain where the complaint, like if you were getting an administrative search warrant, you would have to be able to articulate the reasons you believe that there's this life safety issue, and have a judge sign that search warrant to go into the property, or get consent of the property owner to let you in to look.
So that would be the process.
Yeah, we had
Someone
that,
calls up
Mike,
and-
we had that mechanism, the township, what she's saying is we had it prior to this going into place, and we'll have it after if we decide to let go of the program.
Okay.
We'll have it in place.
So
We don't
some-
need it.
Okay, so it is in place. is
It's in
what
place right
is
now.
what you're telling me. Okay, well,
And I have confidence in Nick can handle that.
Well, and that's what happened, frankly, that's what happened with the last enforcement action we took with the Pontiac Lake Motel. We had complaints, we got consent, we went into the property, we verified it, and we used the information we received at that time to file a complaint in circuit court.
so we are taking care of life safety issues when we find out about them.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
Nick, thanks for the comments,
Yeah, thank you.
Just wanted everybody to hear that, what was really going on.
Okay, any other comments? Any action?
What's gonna happen now? You got a motion?
You got a motion?
The township attorney to prepare an ordinance rescinding.
Okay, I'll make a motion to have the township attorney prepare an ordinance rescission,
Rescinding the rental property.
rescinding the rental property ordinance.
I'll second it.
Motion.
Roll call vote?
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Supervisor Kowal.
No.
Clerk Noble, yes. Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Trustee Anderson,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, next item, Resolution 26006, approving White Lake Township fee schedule revisions, 2026-01. Questions or comments?
Sean?
I thought you were talking,
No,
your
I
name's
was
in the
gonna
memo.
defer to you.
Oh, your name's in the memo. You did a nice job with
Yes,
this.
and I'm deferring to you.
Office of the
Actually,
Clerk.
Nick is definitely going to talk about this if you'd like to hear on it. I just want to thank your office and Deputy Santiago for
you.
all his work with Hannah and Nick.
Yeah, I'll just briefly go over this. I do want to thank Hannah. She put a tremendous amount of work into this. But we haven't done a fee schedule update for the majority of the building, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, permit fees for over 15 years. So it's been long overdue. Not only that, there was a lot of discrepancies between the permit fees and the way it was showed up in our fee schedule.
So we adjusted a lot of that. And, this is, we don't base our fees on, on communities around us. That's not how we're supposed to do it. We're supposed to base it based on, what it costs us to do, to run our business. But we did do comparisons just for the sake of understanding of what other communities around us, where they are at. So, if it's pretty self-explanatory, I think, the way that Hannah laid this out, but I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Did any go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, there were some that went down. Most did not, I'll be honest. I mean, most did not because there's, everything costs more than it did 15 years ago. I mean, we have to pay everybody more. But there were a few that did go down.
And if I can speak on it real quick, since I did overhaul it a bit. I think for the residents, it's gonna be a lot clearer as far as filling out an application for permitting now. A lot of the old permit fees, and the items on the permits didn't make a whole lot of sense. And so in doing some of these updates, we kind of made it so it's gonna be easier for a layman, just a resident to come and pull a permit. And so hopefully it'll make things easier on a resident standpoint and for us ladies in the office processing too.
And another side note, all of our permits are getting updated. They were updated slightly about 5-6 years ago, because they were, to be quite honest, when I first started here, a lot of the permits were copies of copies of copies, and they hadn't been updated in a very long time. So they were updated about 6 years ago, when Sherry was here. But we're adjusting those, permit applications even more to kind of streamline them. There's a lot of useless information on permits, to be quite honest with you. So we're getting rid of some of that. And again, like Hannah mentioned, just to bring a little bit more clarity to the applications.
Any questions? I think you've done a fair summary. I mean, there's no formula for this exact.
I wish there was. There isn't.
There's no national chart of charges either.
No.
So it'll vary from location to location, community to community.
Correct.
So I don't have any further questions on it. Anybody else? Looking for a motion?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 26-006, the new White Lake Township fee schedule.
Support. Motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Next item.
Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah. Next item, Resolution 26007, approving the 2026 dust control program. As you know, this is a program that's appreciated by our residents that live on the dirt roads. The 5 applications would be $76,507.32. And if they wanted to go to a 6th application, that 6th application would be $15,301.46. Some of you may not have the updated information on that. I'm not sure if it was updated or not, but there was an error from the county when it came over, of which Mr. Roman caught. And
Can you repeat that just to?
we made the correction. Any questions?
The dollar amount, can you repeat it?
Oh, I'm sorry. The $76,507.32.
Thank you.
Questions, comments?
How can we stop the pooling by the end of Brendel and Pontiac Lake Road / Cuthbert?
How can you stop the pooling?
The pooling, every year I get a couple complaints from the pooling because they're so adamant that this is not good for the head of the water spring. I'm drawing a blank, what's down there. And they're like, the wellhead of the Huron River. And that's why I'm voting no, because she's like, Andrea, it pools at that corner and it goes into the streams of the water. So I wish that could be changed. But I'm a pro advocate because I want the dirt roads, but I'm pro advocate in regards to I want,
That's just going to be a matter of being, the grade differentiation being called to the road commission
yeah,
foreman.
because I'm
And
gonna
if-
vote no, but I'm still, I love my dirt roads, but we gotta do something with the pooling on on that road.
Well,
You mean like at the
Like, you need it like
intersection?
graded, is that what you're talking about? It's
Yeah, and then that's where
dipping down,
our,
so she wants it
wellhead is
level.
for the mouth of Huron River, and it's like, that's where it goes right into there. So we gotta keep our water clean too.
Point of order. Any further questions? Otherwise, looking for a motion.
Yeah, good job to your office, Rick, to get the 6th application on
Yeah,
there.
thank you.
Motion to approve resolution 26-007.
Support.
Motion, you want to do it for the 5, or do you want to do it for the 6?
6.
Well, the way it reads on here, it says.
Yeah, we can,
That's up to you.
It is, but I just want to make sure that you're clear on that. That would be discussed with the foreman, and then he would consult with me, and then I would go forward with it, so the
Fine
board.
with that.
Okay, you're fine with that, okay. Motion, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it.
Just got to drive the car down and check it.
Andrea, sign that card down there.
Yes, it's all done.
Okay, send it back, please. Okay. Civic Center update. Things are moving along. The weather's been a little bit on the tough side, obviously.
You had 2 items you added.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you.
Good catch.
God, I can't even read my own writing over here. Okay. Item L is a resolution that has been put together by basically the MTA, and it essentially is in opposition to the passage of Michigan House Representative Bills 5529, 5532, 5581, 5585 regarding local municipal zoning authority. And essentially, it references those bills, and it would be in opposition. It is being collected by Chris Barnett, and he's focusing them all through and funneling them through our OCATs and the MTA. And essentially, it's just, there's too much, you want to talk about unknown, there's too much unknown and too much information lacking, and they need to have this, need to have a sit-down. The Michigan Planners Association, I just read that blip you sent me today.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, they loved this bill, and they were in support of it. And today, an email came out. They must have gotten some serious backlash from the membership because they were trying to put the genie back in the bottle, because it's terrible. And the state of Michigan shouldn't be trying to tell local governments how to zone and run their operation. We are who we are. We're a great community. People want to live here because of who we are. We don't need the state of Michigan telling us what size our lots should be, how big our houses should be, what our setbacks should be. That's what the 7 of you are supposed to do. So it was a huge overreach, and it's, for me and the job that I do, shocking to me that they were on board at all with it.
Considered it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, it was.
Very
flooring.
disappointing, yeah.
Very disappointing. So nonetheless, resolution, I'd like to see us adopt resolution 26-005 in opposition to the passage of the Michigan House of Representatives Bills 5529, 5532, 5581, 5585 regarding local municipal zoning authority.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I will make sure that gets done, okay? Next item is kind of a housekeeping item. We received pretty much a clean title deed on the Hitchcock properties. So I'm looking for a motion I'm looking for a motion to allow the following properties on Hitchcock Road, Sidwell number 12-09-476-019, 10 acres plus or minus, and parcel 12-09-476-020, 10 acres plus or minus, to be listed with Keller Williams Stockton Group, and allow the supervisor to sign unnecessary documents related to the listing agreement.
You're going to use Steve?
No, this was happening.
It was more time.
He's more familiar with it.
Can we talk to legal counsel first?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Speak up.
Had I known this was going to be presented today, I would have given you a heads up that the statute requires the township to first declare property surplus property, that it's not needed for public purpose, before you sell it, I would have prepared a resolution. We could still go back and recreate a resolution based on the motion, but I wanted to make it clear that you have to declare it surplus property and not needed for any public use.
I hereby declare it surplus property. Agreed.
Agreed.
Here we go. Took that, that's done.
This would be part of your motion,
Motion.
so that I could then convert it to a resolution.
Hannah, back up the documents related to the listing agreement.
She's way over us tonight.
As the property has been deemed surplus and unnecessary to the township.
Surplus and unnecessary, but
How's that, legal?
That's fine.
Motion? Support? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Next item, and thanks for catching me on that,
Can I
Hannah.
get the parcel IDs?
Yeah, sure. Civic Center, moving along. Weather's been a little bit dicey. We have had some setbacks with the weather. They haven't been able to get the complete roof on the township hall yet, because every time they turn around, it's either raining, icy, or windy. They did ask us for permission to work this Saturday because the weather's supposed to be good. We discussed it internally, and we need to get that building closed in, because anytime the water gets inside, it does not do the process any good, and they cannot go further with any mechanical processes in those areas because it's getting rained on. So that's important to move forward. Public safety building is buzzing along. There's drywall being hung in certain places. It is a beehive in there. And there's so much going on in there. It's crazy. And the other day I went in there, take a look around. The winds were super high. I got blasted with dust when I walked in the door, because somebody must have had something open on the other side. And I opened the door, and the wind came out of the south there and just whoosh. So it's just going to take some time. Mike, anything else you?
Some good news, basement floor of the township hall, it's settled back down. We had some upheaval, which was really bad because it bent a lot of the studs in the building that have to be replaced. But thank goodness that floor's come back down. And I'd like to thank Liz, Trish, and Kim on the color committee and the material committee for all your help on picking colors and all that good stuff, and countertops.
Turning out good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's looking good, so that's all I had.
Okay, well, that'll go to trustee comments. Andrew Voorhees.
Hopefully spring is right around the corner, which makes us opportunities to start with our garbage pickup for the recycling end of it, the composting end of it, which starts April 1st. April also brings us the No-Haz Day. The list is on the township website and on the our Facebook page. That's April 25th from 9 to 1. We're again at Alpine Valley. And also the boat shrink wrap recycling program is back. So for the White Lake boaters, come in, get your bag, bring it back, and give us your blue coverings for your boats that we have. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
Good evening. Just wanted to go ahead and let everybody get an update as far as ZBA. We had 3 cases brought to us. We approved the variances for those. Our next meeting, we will be reviewing 4 cases. So if anybody wants to come out and see how the ZBA works, feel free to do so. On a note, just want to be sure that since it's St. Patty's Day, people might be celebrating a little bit tonight. I just say be careful, and if a friend of yours says take an Uber or Lyft, please do so. Thanks.
If not, White Lake Police Department is happy to drive you home. Well, at least to a cell. Mr. Roman.
I just want to thank Tony for coming out, Mr. and Mrs. Early, thanks for coming out, thanks for giving us your opinions. We
Putting up with us.
always appreciate. And to those of you watching from home, thanks for participating. And that's all I had.
Okay. Mr. Noble.
We're just going into our audit next week,
So with Gilmar and Don and DLZ and the rest of us, so we'll have that ahead of us. And just like to thank Hannah and for working on that, the fee schedule, and also for taking minutes every board meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Ruggles?
Yeah, Planning Commission has a meeting this Thursday. We're looking at a final site plan from Lasting Impressions and a temporary use permit for Walmart for outdoor seasonal sales. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and that's it.
Okay, Trustee Smith?
Okay, real quick, there are, to remind board members, there are chairs in our old boardroom, if you haven't had a chance to sit in them yet, for the boardroom. So please go and sit them and let us know which ones you like. And we also had chairs come over for residents to sit in and staff to choose from, because we all sit here a long time. It's important that we're all comfortable. So board members, please get a chance to sit in them and then let me know if you have any strong opinion, if you like one. We have it narrowed down, but I'd like to include all of you in that. The library, Friends of the Library had a successful book sale. I stopped in there myself and they were busy and doing a great job. I want again to highlight and thank DLZ, Mr. Potter, and our board. It was definitely a team effort. It was a fun night at the ACEC. It was a unique opportunity to eat at the Fillmore, and those of us that attended, I learned that we got to share the stage with the likes of Aretha Franklin and Prince, so I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit. They've been performing at the Fillmore, and that's where we got to accept the awards, so that was kind of fun. One more thing that I wrote down here. I think that's it. Happy St. Patrick's Day, stay safe, and I think that's it for the evening.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. I certainly am very proud of Aaron and his staff and DLC for this engineering award. This is quite an achievement. You really, I mean, not everybody was around when you were here and you and I were doing Water Wednesdays, and from what it was to what it is completely a whole different world. So that's certainly appreciated and well-earned, well-deserved.
Rick, can you pass it down?
Yeah,
I'd like
it's
to
heavy.
see it. Okay. Thanks. Oh, it is heavy.
It is heavy. I think it's solid crystal. So, we've had some disruption in our country this week and locally, on an international level, so to speak. So I certainly hope and pray for everyone in our community. I am certainly very, very proud of our fire and police department and their response to the West Bloomfield community at Temple Israel. So we'll move forward, and hopefully things will be better as the year unfolds. And on that night, I will say good night, God bless, and motion to adjourn.
Support.
I have motion to support. All in favor?
Aye.